to episode 28 of Inside the Table, a tabletop RPG talk show. A show in which we talk about the craft of tabletop role-playing games. But if you were a listener of our previous episode, you will notice that we're doing a little different sneaky little thing, which is we're playing a tabletop game. We are playing IRONSWORN STARFORGed? Is that right? I keep saying Ironforged Star Warp.
StarSworn.
Yes. So what is the title of the game we are playing today?
We are playing IRONSWORN STARFORGed by Shawn Tomkin. Hello, I'm Cole, aka Ice Cold Brew.
Shawn Tomkin, I think it was. That was the one thing I remember. I cannot remember the title of this game for the life of me. But yeah, this is Cole. Welcome.
Hello.
And I right here. I am Marley. You can follow me at @Mina_Lenahan, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'll introduce you again. Who are you? Who am I speaking with?
I am this unit. It's Cole, aka Ice Cold Brew. My pronouns are he, him, they, them, and yeah.
So today we are talking about a topic. To quote this very rough planning doc, which we are ignoring today. So yeah, I guess I'll to sum up, we basically did a world building kind of episode last time, and I to give you a rough background of where I am at with this game, I'm coming here mostly blind. I'm going to be sort of watching. I'm going to be playing with Cole, but Cole is the quote unquote expert with this. So I will pass it over to Cole as we sort of sum up what we did last time, what we did in between sessions, and what is IRONSWORN STARFORGed.
Yeah.
Take it away, Cole.
So, to bring it back to the beginning, essentially what we did was we designed our galaxy. We designed what our setting is going to look like. And the very start of doing so is to discuss what our truths are. And we went through a list of 14 different categories, all with 3 options each. Some we liked, some we didn't like. Mm-hmm. But we basically picked and chose what we thought would be interesting in a setting, and what would be interesting to have in the setting as a common belief, but be able to challenge things along those kind of lines. Talked about the prehistory before coming to the Forge, which is the galaxy we are in, divided up into Terminus, the Outlands, and the Expanse, followed by the Void, which we will not be going to at this point in time. Mm-hmm. We talked about what pushed us out into the Forge, what exodus happened, what our communities are like. And so a good example is we wanted to know about founder clans, and when we get more into characters and what our characters were like, this is where we'll be discussing what our relation is to founder clans. I think we came up with 2 characters with very different relations overall. Mm-hmm. We also talked about how we make vows and how iron is utilized in this culture and this entire galaxy around it. What laws are like here in this universe, what religion is, whether magic exists, what communication data is, medicine. This was a very long list. I recommend if you are starting here, I hate to say it, you need to jump back 1 episode. You are in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes. I was going to say, just to jump in here, could you, without looking at anything we've written before, give a brief summary about what this galaxy is?
A brief summary about what the galaxy is? Yeah. So what we've basically talked about was our people, the folks from the solar system from Sol, came out into the Forge because we were pushed out. It could have been an experiment gone wrong. It could be a piece of technology that we just overused and ended up destroying our own galaxy with. And that forced everyone to build and utilize FTL drives and all push out into the void of space, going to as far as they possibly can. Then these founding clans, these founding groups split off and have diversified, and there's a huge variety of them, all with different goals and alignments. Some keep order and law, some very authoritarian, some are very want to stockpile weapons and are essentially raiders in a sense, just building up more and more weapon mass in order to be a defining force in the world. Some folks are very scientific feeling. Religion is very diverse, and the galaxy we have found ourselves into is also equally diverse as well. There are sentient.
It's ruined, right? It's like we've come to a place in the galaxy, but it's not like abandoned and we're like, ah, yes, No Man's Sky, blah, blah, blah. Well, No Man's Sky is different, but it's like there are precursors, there are cultures that exist here that we're like arriving into. And there are robots. I think are they remnants?
There are remnants, but there's also AI, which work as data assistants, robots. And I imagine they can have like their own mobile body of different kinds, however they want it to be. If you ever played Cyberpunk 2077, there is a taxi service where I can't remember the name of the taxi, but basically it's like a high luxury item to be able to utilize this taxi service, and it's run by an AI, and they have multiple bodies in all these different taxi cars. And
they're also like gardener ones, like from Zelda.
Yes.
Which is what you'll be playing, I think.
Yes, that's what my character will be. And just to stay on to what the universe is like, there are people still finding various vaults. These are precursor locations. They are weird, strange, and diverse, fulfilling needs and fulfilling things that you don't really understand what they are there for, but they have stood the test of time and survived past the civilization that has built them. And then there's also how communication and data works as well, which I think it's like it's like a news post. It's like a local internet kind of deal. You don't get to go out. You don't get to know the entire galaxy's news. In fact, you have to go to couriers to get a letter sent from one place to another.
Yeah, which is cool as hell. I like that a lot.
It's very, very cool.
Can I ask you about magic? Does magic exist? Magic
does not exist. Wink.
Yes, which means that it does exist, but we just don't know about it. We kind of went to it as in like a... My touch point was like Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh, there's no such thing as magic. The gods aren't here. But then it's just like, as the thing goes on, more magic will appear. Yeah. Neither of us are really playing Jedi. I think my character is the closest to a Jedi, which is this unofficial group of like traveling judges or something called keepers, who basically, whenever there's a community dispute, they come in and just be like, split the baby in two. And then whoever doesn't want to split the baby in two, they get to keep the baby. You know, like the King Solomon thing.
Yeah.
As a weird example. Yeah, I'm basically going from place to place, organizing, figuring out disputes. Religion is diverse. Our people. Just because the other options is we stop believing in gods. And I'm just like, that's not how culture works. Medicine, we have a cool thing about medicine, which like I realize in our in-between sessions we didn't really touch on, which is that there's a cool group of like people, medicants or whatever the fuck, who are just like, they appear and then they do medicine and then help out, but they're kind of rare. And in between we have people called riggers who like replace limbs and like basically do like turn scrap metal into limbs and stuff.
Yeah, they basically do the Anakin Skywalker thing is the phrase I remember around that.
I remember that. That was a really fun thing that you just go to your Anakin Skywalker and they're just like, oh yeah, here's a new limb, whatever.
Yeah. One of the ones I thought was really interesting that we put in was about war.
Yeah. War.
Yeah, which
was about war.
It was a fun one because that one had 3 choices, all of which we kind of liked and were interesting, and we kind of combined them in a strange way, which is, or maybe, it was something along those lines where like we liked parts of it, but not all of it. And so we basically said that resources for all the settlements are too precious to support themselves, but founder clans who go around and stockpile stuff can sponsor settlements in exchange for a tithe. And these settlements give up their own precious resources in exchange for protection and other resources as well. Should put that in there probably. But they give up their freedoms in ways The founder clans all stand against each other, some by sheer force of numbers, others with surgical tact that is far more destructive in the form of a weapon or a few well-placed words.
Yeah, and if I remember with that one, you were like, "Oh hell yeah, let's have galactic wars," and I was like, "I want to have no wars. I want to have like very small things." And so the thing we kind of settled in is a sort of a weird mixture of both, where we had like kind of like baronies, like individual baronies or clans, as this game calls them, but the baronies had super weapons, like the baronies had Death Stars and such like that. And yeah, what else? Is there anything really interesting we want to throw in here? Just going over the last things. There's stuff about horrors, which is, again, it's a similar thing to magic, where it doesn't exist. It's just something that the spacers say when they get drunk. They like talk about like space whales and whatever, but we leave the door open in case there is anything interesting in that way.
Yeah.
It can appear. But yeah, anything else you want to add about the truths? Anything pressing? We just skimmed over a lot of it, but
I'm okay skimming over most of it. If it comes up again, we can always jump back to it and mention it again.
And we can jump around.
Yeah. But yeah, so we started with our truths just to set up the setting. And then from the truth, we started going back and forth about what kind of characters we wanted to make. And you made a keeper, which is kind of one of the law makers. And yeah, you did Keeper Vita Hrothga, who is a bug person?
Yes. So one of the backstory, one of the things it said like about what's it called? About like how does scavenging happen, and how do we interact with like the precursors? It said like, oh, the grubs go out and go and pick things up. And I was just like, I like the idea of a grub. I know it doesn't mean this specifically, but I've decided to play a little grub person. Who I went through a bunch of different ideas. I was like, I want to play Obi-Wan, but I'm like, I don't want to play Obi-Wan as like a magician person, sort of a space wizard. So instead I'm playing it as a sort of like a person who comes from place to place and sorts out disputes. As I said before, it's a keeper. And I'm kind of a diplomat. Like if we look at my, what is it? Moves? Assets?
Yeah.
Assets. I'm a diplomat, which is I come in and I resolve a dispute, negotiate an agreement, or gather allies. And I'm also a blade master. And the thing about that is we have a whole thing about iron. Like this game is called IRONSWORN STARFORGED.
It's IRONSWORN STARFORGED, which is a hack of IRONSWORN, which is also has another hack called IRONSWORN Delve.
Yes. So I have an iron, which is a piece of a ship. I think I wrote it as like a turbine blade or something that's been forged into a cool weapon. And essentially I go from place to place and I sort out problems. And my main sort of thing is that I am from a culture who is who basically witnessed some terrible tragedy. Like another clan did a terrible thing, and I'm like, I'm going to take away all their super weapons or whatever. Yeah. Which is not a thing I can do. Like, I don't have the authority. I basically come into small communities, small towns, just be like, all right, let's figure out who owns this goat. And I want to go out and just be like, I'm going to go to such and such settlement. I believe we agreed upon a place called Beacon in order to stop them from being bad. Besides that, I'm really good at tech, which I will use. That was my bonus little move, which is when you make a move to configure, optimize, hack, or disrupt an electronic system, add +1, blah, 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 blah. And so in addition to be a blade master diplomat, I'm also a tech whiz. And yeah, I also have a cool robot arm, if I remember correctly. Jump over to that, which is I have a makeshift mechanical arm made by a rigger. my act, which is the look that is how I behave, is stands tall, smiles freely, puts a hand on their sword when conflict arises, and they wear a poncho slash cloak fastened with a brooch, which I am taking influence. That is the mayor from the TV show Silo. Just because I was watching that at the time. And still watching it. It's a decent enough show.
Nice.
But I also have a very good friend.
Yeah. And I am playing VPR 45210, who is a remnant founded by... Oh, I have a name for this clan. Insight Arms.
Ooh.
Let me change their name. But they are essentially one of the clans that like take tithes and hoard resources in order to basically strong arm other settlements. But yeah, so VPR 45210, or Vapor for short, was...
Can I very quickly ask?
Yeah.
How did you settle to that number?
I picked random numbers and said, yeah, that works.
Okay, but, so it wasn't like the day of birth, the year of birth or whatever, because I don't think any of these make sense in that case.
Well, like, I imagine VPR was like Vault Protection, Revenant, or like...
Remnant.
Yeah, Remnant. Well, not Remnant. Remnant's what the people in the Forge now call these things.
But isn't Revenant a zombie?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a different thing.
Whatever. It starts with an R.
With synonym with century. Damn. Can't find a good one. Vault Protection Robot's good enough.
Yeah. You, like, in character, you don't know what it stands for.
Yeah. They just know they are referred to as VPR. They go by they, them, its, or Vapor for short. And they were destroyed in their original vault and then taken by the founder clan known as Insight Arms. The vault that they were in was cracked and looted while Vapor was held, repaired, and studied until they found sentience and escaped. When they ran away, that's how they met their good friend Vita, who they want to pay them back. And how Vapor looks, they have two different forms that they go into. The neutral form is very skinny mechanical body with big, like, kind of opal eyes that glow. They're grinding gears. They're metallic. And then their remnant form, their protection form, is doubles in size. It emits a vapor when they shift into this form. They have a shield formed around the arm. They have a much wider build, and the opals become lidded and covered. The head becomes more angular. I imagine like HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic, which I started playing again just to get in the mood for this.
Cool.
And the way they act is they are new and curious but cautious. That says be cautious. I don't know why it says that. This unit prefers the company
Curious,
of
be cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, curious but cautious.
Yeah.
They prefer the company of Keeper Vita, but would like to try new things. For their gear, they actually... So when they were in the vault, whenever the vault was cracked, they at one point were able to hold on to a halberd. And that's their piece of iron that they swear vows on. But it's like the shattered half of it, so it's only... basically like the pole of the pole arm of the axe. And then they also have a data pad heavily encrypted that holds this unit's information.
Yeah. And I think I like about this system is that, like, there is gear, but it says, like, don't worry about whatever items you have. Just ignore that bit. Yeah. You know, anything can work. Just forget about it. It exists. Whatever. And so I think we both just, like, I described my sword, you described your halberd and your data pad, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Which is a really fun little thing.
And then I also took 2 path as well. I took a path and then a piece for the ship, which is a hover bike. That's part of our ship, which we'll get into after I talk about the paths. But I am a fugitive. I am hunted by power, or authority. When you make a move, you may rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong hit. And but if I do so, mark a box above to represent hunters closing in on you. On the third mark, a notable foe or force has tracked you down. If you overcome them or escape, clear the boxes and mark 1 tick on your quest legacy track. And then also I am armored, which puts me in a good position to be a bodyguard for you specifically.
Yes. And is this so your armor is specifically your vapor form?
Yeah.
Like your war form, whatever.
Yeah, essentially.
What is your thing do? Our speeder bike. How does that work? I don't think I've read over that.
So it is a support vehicle. Basically, we can take this out. It's an unarmed hover bike that provides speedy planet-side ground transportation and is equipped to carry up to 2 people and their gear. When you undertake an expedition, take plus edge, take a +1 momentum on a hit. So we'll add 1 to the momentum tracker, whoever rolls on that.
Right.
And then on a strong hit with a match, you can also surge ahead or find a new path. And we can mark a bit of progress with that too.
Yes. And again, I think I said this last time, I don't know what momentum means. I don't know what progress is. And I'm very excited to find out what this means. I actually did a roll in preparation for this game and just be like, oh, let's figure out what our make a connection roll is, which we'll get into in a moment. And I'm like, how do my dice affect my roll? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm kind of curious to learn how to play this thing.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you want to talk about our starship?
Yeah. So we have my ship, which I think I pitched as what's it called? It is the ship from Andor, which is I forgot his name again. Axis. His name is. We had the same thing last time. What's Stellan Skarsgård's character's name? I can just Google this. Stellan
I got you. It is
Skarsgård.
He plays Luthen Rail, or Luthen Rail.
Luthen Rail. So I basically have Luthen Rail's ship, which is kind of small. I think it's like a 1-person or 2-person ship with like a few handfuls of rooms here and there. I think it fits us in kind of comfortably, for a little bit cozy. And it is basically like, it's almost like a camper van in my brain. It's like a very stylish camper van. It is a ship that I got as a gift from a community I helped. I wrote, "It is cool." And the ship is powered by an ancient precursor device. Beyond that, it's very undefined. And then I also have, what is the thing we have? Your armed, multi-purpose starship is suited for interstellar and atmospheric flight. It can comfortably transport several people, has space for cargo, and can carry and launch support vehicles. And then we can add stuff to it, which we'll see how we go with that. But we have a starship. If you know Star Wars, if you know any kind of thing, it's like a very small starship. And yeah, I was quickly... Do you have something to add to the starship or anything? Because I have a question that relates to the stuff we did in between sessions.
I do not actually. I am currently remembering that I need to make a four-step clock real quick for Insight Arms tracking me down.
What for?
Because my fugitive card.
Yes. Which again, we'll probably just scroll down to notes or something to do. That's the usual thing.
Well, actually, I do have an asset.
So the rules as written specify that for the kind of region we are in, which is Outlands, we've sort of imagined this as sort of like, this is a region of recent expansion. Settlements here are scattered, and navigational parts are often uncharted and perilous. If you envision yourself as a spacer on a wild frontier, start here. For that one, it says, come up with 3 settlements. Now, if you look at this here Roll20 thing, you'll notice we do not have 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have twice as many. because we sat down to be like, okay, let's make some settlements. I don't like this one. I like ideas from this one. What if we did this? And what if we included this sort of thing? So we ended up with a bunch of different ones. I would say 3 main ones, which is Beacon, Apogee, and the Relentless. But in general, it's kind of 6. How do we sum this up? Should we just just go through briefly each one? Do we want to pick our favorites and then go through them all?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. I'll let you start. Which is your favorite of these?
I think it's probably the first one we rolled, which I really enjoyed talking about, which was Apogee. Mm-hmm. Apogee is an orbital settlement with hundreds of folks with an unyielding authority. While it's strict and harshly regulated, the planet, while once thriving, the station, while once thriving, because this isn't orbital.
Yes.
Still survives as a major trade hub for the founder clans between the Outlands and Terminus. However, rumor has it that if you go here, there are whispers of the starts of a spy network beginning. They provide high-quality intel for equal value or resource to keep the planet thriving while under the boot of the founder clan. And while they may have recently initiated the spy network, there's still a great deal of resources provided by this organization.
Like the way I sort of imagined Apogee was that it is Greece, which is sort of like placed right in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's like a major trade hub, but everyone sort of invades it and everyone sort of like takes over it and became its own empire at some stage or whatever. And it became a big power. But right now Apogee is just like the middle of everything. Everyone goes there to attack, and it's trying to rise up and do all these spy networks, which you can do with various trades. Mm-hmm. And so what could be is that Beacon, which we probably can go into next, is the Death Star region. And it basically is trading with Apogee, and Apogee is also trading with the Relentless, which we'll get into in a second. And so Apogee is trying to like fight back by being a major spy network, whatever that may mean. And we'll get into that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I think I'll jump over to the Beacon, which is the way I pictured this is that this is when the big ships, the big capital ships, it wasn't capital ships, it was like sort of like assorted small ships came away from Earth, came away from Sol, and arrived in this galaxy. They came onto this planet, which we haven't defined. There are methods and oracles for making planets, so we're just like, let's do that later. And we didn't. And they landed on this place, and they're just like, all right, we're going to build things. We're going to make things that are useful. We're going to like scavenge. We're going to like change our ships and so forth. And we're going to build this new place. And its authority is tolerant, according to the Oracle. It is very populated. They are very welcoming. They let everyone come in and build things. Like I think we've talked about riggers in the past, about people who build random like prosthetics and stuff like that. This is the place that is that. However, they also possess very powerful weapons, which they use to intimidate and steal from the other clans. And so the idea is it's just like everyone is welcome. Come to Beacon. We will use this as the base to fix this whole galaxy. If anyone threatens them, if anyone like is at all annoying, they're just like, we'll just blow you up. Which we haven't written this here, but they have done this in the past. They have basically targeted a place called Gloam, which is a former clan that is they just wiped it out. That's the thing they did previously. And yes, it is currently taken over. Gloam, I'll jump over to Gloam just because it came up. It is basically a planet-side settlement with hundreds of folks with a corrupt authority. Its settlement projects are black market and exploration, or scavenging or something. And the general gist is they're basically going through precursor ruins / the ruins of the settlement that used to be there. And it's just basically like various scavengers are just like going through a clan that is no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting to note, I don't know if you mentioned this, but the group that Beacon destroyed as well, it's called Salon's Progression. And this was one of their like base planet side operations that ended up with them being completely destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah. We also
so that's Gloam and that's Beacon.
Mm-hmm.
What's another one?
We have Reverie. The island Reverie is a nomadic ship moving in deep space among the stars with few in population. This community has a tolerant authority due to community spirituality and focus on subsistence, only taking what they need and leaving everything in offering for those who come next. And this one's like a very interesting idea I really liked. I imagine it very much like I imagine a little bit like the Quarians from Mass Effect, where like they have these huge hub ships, but much smaller. And oh goodness, what's that name of that one book? Hold on. Or in a similar way, the folks who traveled in the ship and To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers, which was about a small group of scientists who went into deep space exploration and would get lights of folks sending messages back from Earth and get news updates, though they would be light years away, so it would be very late on what they're getting. But,
what is this?
To Be Taught If Fortunate is a short novella by Becky Chambers, but I'm imagining the Island Reverie is like the progression point past that. These are people who go and travel among these stars, and they just take kind of what they need. It's a very small group, and they are just continuing to explore and go deeper among space. But it's very it's like a traveling monastery essentially. So like there's spirituality in finding space in the void and finding just like taking your time through space travel, I imagine.
And it's very funny because we just have this like small weird monastery on the edge of space, which like might not come up, but it's kind of like fun to have it there. It adds like really cool texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to take another one?
Yeah, I'll do those.
Just because I did too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other one as well, and I just need to delete that little dot I made. But this is one where we don't actually. This is the Flyby Farm, which was at one point a spacefaring energy encased vault that was traveling from place to place. Currently, it is scattered and just a place for treasure hunters to go diving for. Or more specifically, this is the vault that Insight Arms cracked open, harvested as much as they could out of it, and this is where Vapor came from. Vapor doesn't know this.
Right.
But the Flyby Firm is no longer moving. The entire point of it was to basically gather and garner up resources. And whenever I was rolling this to figure out more details, it said metallic industrial, there we go. And my first thought was like, oh, kind of like a chromatic steampunk in a sense, which helps explain why Vapor was formed in such a way and why Vapor has a lot of vapor coming around him.
Right.
The whole thing with the Flyby was essentially just meant to be a place to just kind of stock hold, and was doing what essentially the missions of the Keepers is, which is, hey, we have stuff. Let's call the Flyby here, and we'll drop off some resources. And if folks can bring resources back, there you go.
So this is like the precursor Keepers, I guess. They just like turn up at various planets, at all the various ruins, and do whatever they need to. Like they drop off some remnants, whatever we call in the robots.
Yeah, the robots are remnants now, but yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's a little bit more like, have you ever gone to a city that has those like free pantries, free fridges, where if you don't really have a place to stay, you don't have a home, but you need food, you need resources, there are these refrigerators you can go to, or like freestanding pantries you can go to, and you can just like well, I need some beans and I need some corn. And if I happen to see bread in there, that's like not going to die immediately. I'm going to take that as well. And then you can come back around and like put some stuff back in order to trade it out. And just essentially keep that going for other people.
And people will probably like deposit, like when they're having like a good time, they go to the flyby firm and like drop cans of beans and stuff.
Yeah. You know,
that's cool.
Something nice. It's a really interesting project that like it picks up if the community believes in it, and kind of gives an insight on like how the precursors saw the Forge as a community.
Yeah, and then what is the faction, the evil faction?
Insight Arms.
Insight Arms basically came there like being like, hell yeah, free beans, let's take it all.
Well, like it wasn't just free beans; it was also just like
I know
the
like tech probably.
Yeah, here this factory kind of 3D prints this weird thing, but 3D prints not out of like this plastic bullshit thread, but out of metal. And this metal, like I can take it to our hardest point of a ship, and it won't break in half as soon as I swing at it. We can probably adapt this and make it more fit our needs specifically. You know.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really neat. And this is something I think, like, it's worth noting. This is something you came up in the last, like, 24 hours or something. I was just, like, looking through, like, where are you from? Where is your character from? And you just, like, roll in the Oracle, don't know, and then kill it with this.
Yeah.
So that is cool.
I will say that's kind of why I love this game just for the Oracle. Just because, like, you don't really need to think about too much. You can just, like, start rolling stuff and go, okay, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Although I will say, when we did the Oracle ourselves, I was like constantly like, I hate tables for some reason. I hate rolling on tables. And so I was constantly like rolling things like, that's not good. Let's go back to the table and I'll read through and pick up my favorites. And so a lot of these things are just like me like changing things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I guess, is there any other things you want to add about the flyby firm?
No, nothing in the moment. There's still a lot about it that we don't know, which I can't wait to dig more into if we ever get to that point.
Yes. Well, I'll jump over to the Relentless, and then we can go in.
All right.
So the Relentless is where Vida is from, my character. It is an orbital settlement with hundreds of folks with an ineffectual authority. Its settlement plans are agriculture and pacifism. Now, you notice I'm putting emphasis on specific words, and we've been doing this the entire time. That's because these are the words we rolled or picked from the Oracle tables, which is very fun. But this is the general gist is this is one of the ships that sort of came in, or maybe like a group of ships that became one ship. And this is just like a space farm. Like I think of it sort of like they have various plants growing on this. I also thought it was very funny having like a farming kept coming up when we were rolling settlements, and so I was just like, why don't we put it on a spaceship? And instead of having like wide open fields, it's all just like, you know, like UV lights or whatever it is, like artificial sunlight and like no soil, just sort of growing it in like this sort of thing. But it's, the way I'm sort of picturing it is it's like a spaceship, but it's also a Banner Saga city. And so there is like a big hall where people come and meet and like have discussions with the clan leader and this kind of thing. They're also dedicated to pacifism, but not pacifism as in the thing like, oh, we will never fight at all. But it's sort of like, we can't really fight, especially given that the settlement beacon has like a huge like war machine, and we can't really afford to win that. So they try to be like, we will mediate, we will sort of like not interfere and stuff. But yeah, and so they are basically, this is my, when we first started talking about like Starforged and IRONSWORN, I've always had Banner Saga on the brain, and so I'm just like, what about a spaceship Banner Saga place? This old like Viking village or something like this that is a spaceship is that. I also really let's jump back to tell me about the faction you had, the arms one,
the inside arms. Yeah. So inside arms.
Yes.
Just need to check the capacity. Yeah, I imagine they might be one of the they're either sponsoring Beacon or working with Beacon at this point. Is my initial thought, just because Beacon is focused so much on warfare and manufacturing. They make very powerful weapons. And in order to know how powerful to make a weapon, you need like research, you need technology, you need people who are willing to go and like test it at places as well too.
Yeah.
And so Insight Arms kind of wanders around and does that. Oh god, there's a faction I'm thinking of in a different setting. That like
a reference, you say?
A reference, I say.
Why? How dare you?
I know. How often I make references. In I think memory called Empire. The main.
I know of that book. I haven't read it yet.
It's a very fun read. But memory called Empire by Arkady Martine. There is the main empire there called the Texconali Empire, and they are like the height of culture. They are the height of understanding, and it's basically like how elevated you are, how smart and like cultured you are is by how well you do poetry. I imagine Insight Arms is very much the same way, but towards like scientific efforts. It's it's like grad school amped up to 12
for a whole culture.
Yes, for an entire culture, and they've all taken only STEM courses, and no one in Insight Arms has ever taken an ethics course to save their life. None of them have humanities on their track.
Right. So I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about Beacon, and I'm also thinking about the fact that we have 5 clans. I think only 2 of which we've figured out, or like 3 of which. One of them got blown up. And my thought is like, what if Insight Arms is just like is a roaming kind of group? Is kind of like that's the 4th group that is basically just like no fixed base, but is basically all about finding the vaults and finding all this kind of thing and moving around. Is that okay, or do you want to have it integrated with Beacon? Just because like we can throw in that, yeah.
Honestly, in my original thought of them, it was like, yeah, no, this is definitely just one group that likes going around and goes, oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of cool shit in all these random vaults in the same way of like in Borderlands and such. Yeah, let's just start cracking shit open. Who cares about the consequences?
Okay, that's cool. So that's Insight Arms, which is just like a clan without any fixed base to just keep moving around and sciencing. Yeah. And they could be the people in charge of gloaming or gloam. They could be the people who are just like, oh yeah, let's go through and find all the useful stuff and sell it back to Beacon and stuff like that. And that way it's fun, because that way we can throw in Beacon to mess with stuff, and then we can also throw in Inside Arms and do all that kind of thing. All right, so with that all worked out, let's jump into the story of it. So we have basically decided to set this on Apogee, the fun trade hub / place, the trade hub for spies, as our notes say. And we have a little thing where an AI called Rhea. Where's our information for Rhea? Do you have information? Do I have information for Rhea? Where's the Rhea?
Rhea should be under your connections.
Right. So Rhea is the recon intelligence assistants, and the pitch was they are like the vending machine from Citizen Sleeper, with like a bunch of different things. It's like a rogue AI who can appear in vending machines, empty robot bodies, televisions, etc. And so the general pitch is that this person is in control of the spy network kind of thing for Apogee. And so they have basically contacted us. I think my character, Keeper Vita Hrothka, has met with Rhea before. And so we basically arrive as we are told there is a USB with like Death Star plans or a kind of an exploit or something. It might not even be clear to us that we can have you make use of. And my character being like, I hate Beacon. I want to take away all their weapons. I'm like, all right, let's go and check this out. So we start in media res, kind of, I guess. This isn't like a cool fight scene. This is just us arriving at a vending machine. And yeah, let's jump into it. Let's jump into the story. We have a little twist on the way, but we'll get into that as it comes up. So yeah, we arrive, I guess, like Keeper Vita Hrothga wearing the sash thing. Not a sash, what's it called? I wrote this out differently. A poncho slash cloak fastened with a brooch. Arrives in Apogee. It's a trade hub, so I guess there's markets. Oh, I guess what catches Vapor's eye as we're sort of like moving through this thing?
About the environment or about the
about the environment, and then we'll go into specifics.
Got it. Yeah, I think the way I imagine it is very much kind of various stalls, and I think Vapor would probably, I'm just double checking something real quick. Vapor would probably be able to notice that like all the stalls that are folded out are literally folded out, and they can be flipped up, either to show one that they're closed or provide like a modicum of privacy, and also add protection if there's ever a fight that rolls out into the street too. Right.
So it's a combination like close sign, front door, and barricade. That's cool. And you're like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And it's like a, and they look, it's like a whole bunch of like kind of plastic covers over the top. Like the plastic is a little bit sturdier than it looks, I guess. I'm thinking like very science fantasy, or like if you watch the episode 1, where like, I forget the name, the folks that live on Naboo, how they have like that like kind of water type shield that like forms around stuff, something like that. That like you poke through.
Gungan City, I believe it is
Gungan,
called.
there we go. Yeah,
something stupid like that.
But yeah, they have something like that. That's kind of what I think the material on the top of it is, and it rolls down and then becomes opaque.
How do the people look like to you?
I think because this is a major trade hub, it's got to be a good variety. So like, you go around and there's like a AI that's making various dishes, some on plates, some in bowls. There's a like jellyfish, like a person floating around. It's like a man of war type person. There's some people with 4 legs, some people with 6 legs, some people on wheels. I imagine there's like a few folks who are being pushed around on like floating carts, or like they have their own palanquin kind of deal, except it's self-guided instead of like controlled by 6 people.
So I thought a palanquin was a type of turtle. Is that wrong?
I think there is a palanquin turtle, but I'm also thinking about the like how like some royalty would be carried on a throne that's been carried by 4 to 6 other people.
Right.
Because their feet aren't supposed to touch the ground. But in this case, it's because this person's a slug person.
Okay. That's cool. Is this the kind of people, like, just to get the vibe of this place, is it the kind of place where it's like when you walk into a Western, everyone closes their windows? Or is this like, oh, welcome, lots of trade to come, or whatever, like, please buy my things, buy my stuff? Or is it like a combination of the two, or what is the...
It's definitely a combination of just like people calling for their wares, but also I'm too busy to pay attention to the fact that you have a sword.
Okay, I like that. I think I like the idea of Keeper Vita perhaps like is very nervous just because this is really big. But I think she takes the time to buy some noodles. And so just has like a little bowl of noodles or something. A little takeaway bowl. But that probably exists. It exists now. I was going to be like, do they have that in the fantasy sci-fi future or whatever? But yes.
Noodles
so
will always be a consistent thing, yeah.
So I'm buying noodles with the eye to keep an eye on any sort of like troubles that have been. Just because like I have been like noticing like little like elements of other factions like Beacon and pardon me, Inside Arms and stuff like that, like little people I've noticed here and there, like just like something on their sleeve and something like this. And so I buy some noodles with the intention of looking normal while also checking things out. And yeah, and I am carrying a sword, and I am perhaps comforted and disturbed that no one is commenting on it. I guess they're too busy, but I'm also just like, this is like, I don't know, how do people feel about this? So yeah, so holding a bunch of noodles, I'm going to head into the meeting area with which is a vending machine hub, I guess, of some kind. I think like the thing we agreed upon last time was that like I previously met Rhea by having my credit shit stolen or something. I think that's what we talked about.
I think so.
And it was just like, oh, my thing got stolen, and then it was just basically that was Rhea's way of getting in touch. And as we said before, Rhea is in charge of like security, I guess, all the spy stuff. And is also like selling stuff. And I think what we come across when we come to meet Rhea is that the vending machine has been destroyed. I think it has been blown up. I'm not sure if that would really like, I want to have some like strong indication that Rhea has been killed, but it's sort of like vandalizing a vending machine isn't the best way to ensure that. But like we were told to meet here to get the USB to like negotiate what we would do. And we find it destroyed, no sign of the USB, and something's weird. And immediately I am like holding my noodles and then like putting my hand on my blade in case anything bad happens. And yeah, what take away, Cole.
So one thing I'm thinking of just to that does kind of give the hint that like Rhea could very well be dead is the vending machine is pulled out, the wires are taken out, and the image frozen on there is of Rhea. I imagine it's just like that System Shock cover art, just like frozen in a scream. And I think that's kind of
I have one, which is like, what if it's like when last time we saw Rhea had like a whole style. Rhea was like had this whole thing going, but like the version we see is just the factory reset. You know? So this isn't like cool hair, wild things going on, and it's just like, hello, how can I help you? My name is Rhea. And I don't recognize you or something. It could be like that. How do we feel about that? Is that something you want to go for?
That sounds interesting. I do like the idea of that, of just like the OS was ripped out and replaced to the base form of it. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm sort of like, I'm torn between. It's really interesting, this game, because it's the GM-less thing where I'm like, do I want to investigate what's happening here? Do I want to introduce a threat? I feel like I should probably fail a roll, but then again, this isn't, I mean, I guess, is this, no, it's not really powered by the apocalypse.
It's kind of powered by the apocalypse. And I will tell you why, because there is a move you can take called Gather Information.
Oh,
when you search for clues.
That is the move. Yeah.
Yeah. When you search for clues, ask questions, analyze evidence, or do research, roll plus wit.
Right. Now, I'm good with tech. It's come up.
It's officially come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
So you have an asset card called Tech, where when you make a move to configure, optimize, hack, or disrupt an electronic system, add a +1. On a weak hit, you can choose to press your luck. If you do, re-roll all dice and add +2 instead of +1.
okay.
But
That seems just good.
yeah,
I like that.
it's very nice.
Why
It's
would I
just
not
you have to,
do that?
because on the off chance that you somehow roll like a 10 or a 9, like if there's a 9 or a 10 involved, then that will leave you just with a weak hit.
Okay.
If anything, if it's like both dice roll above a 9 or a 10, 8
Right.
or above, actually, I should say.
Now, I will quickly check my wits. I'm not sure how... I'm decent with wits. This is great.
Yeah, this is great for you.
I could have a +4 bonus if I fail this roll. So that's the goal.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
I think like the big thing to help out with this too, and why it's a tech roll, is something is wrong with Rhea, and you go to the vending machine and you just like looking at what happened on the backside of it and trying to get into the circuit boards of it.
And like trying to figure out who is responsible. Because like, I want to get this MacGuffin. I want to get this USB, and I want to try and find out what happened to it. Hopefully they left some kind of a trace. And I guess this is a good point to introduce how dice rolls work, which we won't really come across in Roll20 because of the nature of Roll20. It'll just roll for us automatically. But like, the thing is, I'm going to roll a d6, or the computer's going to roll a d6 for me. I'm going to add my modifiers, which is currently +3. That's +2 for wits, +1 for my tech ability. And then on the other end, the computer is going to roll 2d10. And they're going to be random numbers between 1 and 10, and I'm going to have to beat both. If I beat 1, it's a weak hit. If I beat neither, it's a miss. So I'm pretty confident about this. My modifier is 1, and let's see what happens. Choo-choo.
Ooh.
Hey, that seems bad. I got a 4, and I had to beat a 9 and a 10, but there's a little trick we just learned a second ago, which is that I can do it again, I guess.
No, you cannot. You can only do that on a weak hit.
Oh, I thought it was a failure. I misread that.
No, it's only on a weak hit.
All right. What happens if I fail? On a miss, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. Which is good. Like, that's the thing that I was just like, I want this to happen somehow. I want to see what this is like. What happens?
Yeah. So when you pay the price, you suffer the outcome of an action. And I think what this is we find out.
Is this someone appears with a gun and starts shooting at us?
Yeah, actually, I think that.
Or is this?
I think because we're not really able to figure out what the next step is. We haven't made an iron vow with anyone yet. It would typically be the next step. We would typically swear an iron vow to complete a quest. Right now, we haven't had a chance to do so. But I imagine, like, as we walked into the vending machine area, someone had just, like, scattered and is hiding behind, like, another row of vending machines, waiting to see what we do. And as you go to investigate and see what's wrong, the reset Rhea says, "Please do not interfere with a circuitry. If you interfere, I will be forced to go on alert." And then you just, Vita hits the wrong wire, and there's a great blaring alarm, and a gun comes rolling out, and
this could be, just to sort of open it up about things that could happen, this could be another person who was told that they could come and buy this USB. This could be the person who did it. This could be someone investigating the alarm. Like, I want to keep it open. Like, I don't think we'll immediately find the person who stole the USB now, although we could. We don't know.
We don't know, though. I think just the biggest thing this does, I imagine it's like a couple of things happen at once. Is one, it creates an opportunity for an enemy because a ping goes out from Rhea saying someone is interfering with my thing, and I imagine our enemy has recognized that. The other thing that comes out of it is I want to say we get put into a rough situation. I think I don't want to say you are harmed because that's just like an easy lob, because I don't want this person to immediately fire a gun at you. But I do think someone just comes out and just starts shouting, what are you doing? What are you doing? What did you do to Rhea? What did you do to Rhea?
Okay. Do you have an idea? Like, we have a list. We have a secret little list of NPCs. Do you have an idea who this is, or is this just someone who is a blank until we add more details to?
Yeah. I don't. This is a person who comes out, and I imagine they have like a one. They are very much armed.
Okay.
And a little bit scared, but this person, we would find it later on, is named Sage Keelan. They is a contact of Rhea and was kind of there to act as like an intermediary and just like check in from time to time, but we don't really get a chance to know that. Right now, all we know is this.
We don't know that. Like, we know, but our characters do not.
Yeah. But she basically she comes out and it's this young person, fairly young person with like a buzzed haircut, and some tattoos around the neck going down, and is very shakily holding a pistol up to us, asking, "Who are we? What are we doing?" And I think it's at that point Vapor immediately reacts and drops their pacifist form and gets into a protective position in front of you to block them from shooting you.
Okay.
And just to describe Vapor, just kind of builds up more. The Vapor builds onto the armor, and that's where the asset comes from for Vapor, where they're always armored and are in a set of personal armor.
To build on the miss is that my investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. To build onto that, like you said, there's alarms. Like, I'm thinking this makes me look like I just killed Rhea. Like, something about how I'm like meddling in with the wires and like opening up the system and like whatever tools I have, I immediately look like, oh, I'm so guilty. And so I think that this is the unwelcome truth that undermines my quest. As I see this, I look at you and I try and be like, let's not start a fight, I guess. I don't want to be arrested. I think I'm also, am I still holding? I think my noodles are on the ground. I don't think I'm still holding my noodles, so that's a fun visual. I raise my hand and I'm like, please, it's not what it looks like. I was told to meet Rhea here. I'm not sure what's happening.
Okay.
And if you want to do something, please feel free to jump in. But yes.
Yeah. I think what Vapor is going to do is say, more or less, like, we were sent here to check something, and something is wrong with our vending machine. And I'm trying to give us a little bit more of a chance, like a little bit more of a opening, just like we didn't do anything wrong. The alarm did go off, yes, but we know something was wrong with the machine. We're trying to figure out what. And what I want Vapor to do essentially is like open up an opportunity and give you an advantage to kind of build on this. But I think
I have a
Um,
fun idea for a consequence, which is that like what's the character's name? Sorry. Told me this
Sage.
before. Sage. I think they like a possible consequence, which we don't know. This could just work with the advantage, but they could just ask you to take down your armor.
Right.
And like we'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
So yeah. How does advantage work? How does explain to me the rules?
So securing an advantage is basically like an aid your ally action, which is what I'm trying to do. You're the keeper. You kind of have a bit more authority, but when you act in direct support of an ally, ensure how you aid them, envision how you aid them, then secure an advantage or gain ground to take action. If you score a hit, instead of you take the benefits of the move. Right. So for me, I'm securing an advantage, which is when you assess a situation, make preparations or attempt to gain leverage, envision your action and roll. If you act with speed, mobility, or agility, you roll plus edge. With the resolve, command, or sociability, roll plus heart. With strength, endurance, aggression, roll plus iron. Deception is shadow. Expertise is wits. I think this is a heart roll for
you good at
Vapor.
heart? I can't remember.
No, I'm not. But I'm doing it with the resolve to kind of help pacify. And so, like, to show I'm willing to do this, the armor starts going away. And so if they take a shot, I will not be able to use my armor, but this will be here to help out.
What I was thinking with my thing, I mean, you could absolutely make it go away, but I'm thinking like you can keep this up. And then if it doesn't happen, then you already have your armor ready. But like a thing like as a consequence, which doesn't actually have to happen yet, like you could probably succeed on securing an advantage without using that. But like I was thinking that if we have to have like a consequence, a fun consequence would be take down your armor and so you're less ready. Sense.
Yeah, I accidentally rolled. I got a weak hit, so on a weak hit, you can choose one. You can either take +2 momentum or add +1 on your next move.
Right. Which one? Let me know which one.
You get to decide. Since I am rolling to aid you, you can take +2 momentum or you can add +1 on your next move.
So as I understand it, momentum will basically be it'll give me the option to swap out my modifier. Is that right?
No, swap out your dice roll. So like you see how I rolled a 2 on here for my action score. If my momentum was a 4 or a 5 or a 6, if it was a 6, I could switch it to a 6 and get a strong hit instead. And that's where I burn momentum. And so I would click burn momentum and reset back to 2.
Right. Okay. So I'm not going to do that because I don't trust it. It's a new mechanic.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you an automatic +1 that the thing that I like. So I'm going to take the +1 on my next move.
Yep.
I think, okay, so I want to basically talk to them.
Yeah.
Is this compel or is this face danger?
Because
this is attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat. I feel like I might need to face danger in order to compel, which is persuade someone or make them an offer. Because I don't have an offer. My only offer is, please don't think that I did this.
Well, you're trying to pacify them. You're trying to say, think about it. We couldn't have done anything in this amount of time.
Yes. Deception, stealth, or trickery, expertise, focus, or observation, resolve, command, or sociability. My initial instinct was go with my best stat, which is heart, but I'm also thinking that probably doesn't make sense. I don't think resolve, command, or sociability. I'm not a diplomat at this moment. I think I might go back to wits, which is expertise, focus, or observation. Yeah. Which is basically like, I couldn't have done it. This is my argument. I'm going to become a lawyer and just be like, here is the 5 reasons that I couldn't have done it. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to do this, which is that
top 5 reasons why Vita isn't guilty.
Yes, this is my listicle that I'm doing. What a terrible word. So I am going to jump over to that button. Where is that button? Where am I looking?
You go to moves, adventure moves, face danger.
I was just not reading it. So I'll roll, and I am doing it with expertise, focus, or observation. And my bonus is 1. Wait, hold on. Am I being a diplomat? No. When I swear an I involved to resolve a dispute, negotiate agreement, or gather allies. Add +1. No, it's not accurate. Tech doesn't work. Okay, never mind. Let's do it again. All right. Face danger. Expertise, focus, or observation. Submit. Modifier +1. Let's see how we go. Yes!
There you go.
I got a 6. And my challenge die was a 4 and a 2, so I get a strong hit. You were successful. Take +1 momentum. I hate momentum. Haven't you been paying attention, game? But I'll increase my momentum to +3.
Well, think of it this way. Momentum could be an auto success in the future, too.
Yes. But I still don't like it.
It's like you're getting hold.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right.
I like solid things rather than hypotheticals. So what happens? So I basically like, does she lower the gun? Is this...
Yeah. You got a strong hit. Yeah, she hears your argument and looks back at the machine and realizes it's been reset and you barely done anything. And they just kind of put the gun, this pistol down and say, well, all right. What happened to Rhea? It was talking to me earlier today. I just ran out to go run an errand, set up a contact for someone, but it's not here.
I'm right here. I'm very happy to help you with any inquiries you have. I'm Rhea. And I think that Keeper Vita is just like, yeah, we were told to come here to pick up something. I say, unsure of how much I can trust this person. When we arrived, it was like this. We haven't even been here a minute. Why did you come here so quick?
I was on my way back. I was told to follow up on a quick point of information about Apogee. Apparently something got out recently about there was a new arrival of a group that showed up, and I was supposed to check in and find out what that was. Did y'all get the package? Is the package still here? Not Rhea. Do you still have the thing inside your system?
I'm afraid I don't understand. I have many packages. I deliver constantly. I organize the postage system and all over this station.
And I think that's when Sage will start walking up and start like digging through and basically do what you were about to do, but without triggering any alarms, and starts like scrolling through the data, the entire data set, and goes, this isn't right. There's not much missing, but there's like a good set of space that's been opened up here on the vending machine. What were you supposed to come pick up?
I look at Vapor, like, can we trust this person?
Vapor looks down at them, and what does Sage have that's like really adorable? Sage has like, I imagine
a
Sage
gun.
like, yeah, gun. I imagine Sage like came up in like overalls and or like coveralls, and has like a belt with some, just like some random knickknacks and tools and such, and hanging off one of the belt loops is this like really adorable little old world plastic figure, and it's like a little furry creature with his hands up, but the arms are up, the hands are down towards the mid chest, and it's just giving like the cutest eyes possible, but it's very faded and kind of looks it looks like it was dug out of the dirt and was just given a clean finish. And Vapor looks directly at that and just says, "We can trust them." No explanation at all. I
frown, but I'm like, okay, if your feelings are good on this, then I will trust that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I shrug, I guess, and I hold out my robotic hand, and I say, I am Keeper Vita Hrothka, originally of the Relentless.
Ugh.
What
the word keeper. You
Does she take my hand? Or
I think it's very hesitant. I think they take your hand very hesitantly and shake it and just say, well, if Rhea was working with you, I guess you would be okay. But from what I can tell, anything Rhea might have had was probably taken at this point. Do you know what it was about?
I look at Vapor.
Vapor nods. Just you hear the like gears kind of grind and like some air hiss out as they nod up and down.
Okay. Yeah. I seem hesitant. I'm just like, I'm still cautious about this.
Vapor Vapor will see that hesitancy and just say, from this unit's understanding, we were supposed to pick up a information about Beacon. Just like looks at you for confirmation.
I'm like, yeah, I guess that's correct. I'm like, I don't want to say any more, and I'm like extremely like, I think I just go like, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. In a pointed way, I'm just looking at them like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know anything about you. Except that you're carrying a cool little thing.
Mm-hmm. She immediately pipes up, I'm Sage. I've worked with I worked with Rhea as a runner of sorts, just running around and picking up various bits of information, confirming things when it could not. And if you want to, we can roll to make a connection now, because we can start a new relationship to give folk and create a connection with someone, or give them a role in a rank, and then they can be a part of the information background we get.
I don't know if I would do this. I'm just like, I'm so...
Okay. Well, then we can skip
think
that.
about this. No, I mean, if you want to.
Yeah.
Is this something that Vapor would do? When you search out a new relationship, what you're focused on an existing relationship?
Yeah. Vapor would.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and roll, make a connection, and see if I can get a strong hit. I got a weak hit. Okay. On a weak hit. All right. So I rolled a 4, and my challenge dice is a 6 and a 3. So it's right in the middle. On a weak hit, I create a connection, and I give them a roll and a rank. Whenever your connection aids you on a move closely associated with their roll, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. But now their connection comes with a complication or a cost. Envision what they reveal or demand. Okay. So we have Sage Keelan. She was found on Apogee. And basically, she's not a spy per se, but she's like a contact of sorts. She's a... let me find another alternative word for spy.
What is the synonym for spy?
She's more like a
informant?
Informant. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Or like she confirms the information essentially.
Guide? Is that anything?
She is a witness and a tester, a testifier.
Because she is like the good thing about
corroborator
is they know, like, we want to have someone who's a person who lives here and who knows stuff and who we can trust, even though this comes with a complication.
Yeah. Well, I think I have an idea what the complication is.
Yeah.
And it's the information Sage was sent out to confirm was that it was Beacon showing up because Beacon knows their USB is missing, and someone tipped them off on that. And her whole deal was to confirm that, because the information that was stolen from them that's about Beacon is a exploit and one of their latest designs that could basically drop the value of their weapon and also be used against them in some way.
Right. So you're saying that Sage is working for Rhea and for Apogee, but is currently on a job for Beacon.
No. She was on a job for Rhea to confirm information to see if, because Rhea was going to give this USB drive to you, but Beacon is here. She also needs to protect herself. Rhea would need to protect itself as well. So that's why it sent out Sage to go find out if Beacon is here. Now Beacon is here. Sage knows something was about to be sold about Beacon. She is. And the complication essentially is Beacon knows that this person. I think the complication here is Sage got followed, essentially.
Right. Okay. What is our next move? So you have this connection now. This is a thing that you... How does this connection happen? Do you just, like, hold out your hand, or is this, like, a...
It works the same way bonds do in Powered by the Apocalypse games. It's more of just, like, I got this person... I mean narratively. Like, how does this weak hit, like, manifest? Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, she says, well, we had this... There's this data package that Rhea was setting up about Beacon, but I was sent out to go and confirm that Beacon had shown up, and now we had to basically change plans. That's what I was on the way here for, but it seems like someone beat us here and has already taken it before I could even get back. I had to take the long way around because someone happened to catch me there, and I couldn't afford to stick around.
I think that Keeper's eyes like dart between Vapor and Sage and the vending machine, and like part of me is just like, I gotta check this out. I gotta investigate what's happening. But I also realize that I'm basically at the scene of a murder, kind of. So I'm like, we should get out of here before they arrive.
Yeah.
And I am going to try to get out. Like, I'm also thinking, like, when do I swear an iron vow? Like, I feel like this is, like, get out of danger, but I feel like all these things are useful.
Yeah. I think it just, like, follows up in the conversation with Sage of just, like, we have to go get that data package back. We have to find out who stole it and what they plan to do with it. And I think that's the point where you swear an iron vow, just like...
now, I'll keep in mind that I get a +1 if I do it diplomatically. When you swear an iron vow to resolve a dispute, negotiate an agreement, gather allies, add +1. On a strong hit, mark progress. When you fulfill your vow on a diplomatic mission, formidable or greater, score a hit. Also mark 2 ticks from your Bond's legacy track.
Okay. How do we turn this into something that you can use diplomat for?
I will resolve a dispute, which is I will find the USB, quote unquote, and decide what happens with it.
Okay.
Before bloodshed happens. I don't know if I can do before things.
Yeah.
Is this progress? Am I clicking on that? No.
No.
Yes.
So you're going to vows once again.
Vows. Okay.
And you're going to click add.
Yes.
And one thing you do have to do, though, is you have to roll for the move. So go back to your moves.
Okay.
Go to quest moves and swear an iron vow and roll +heart.
Right. And I get a +1 because I'm being diplomatic with it. I type 12. Let's not do +12. So I'll do that. Yes.
I have a strong hit.
How did I get a 10? Is that possible?
So you rolled a 6. You have a +3 in heart and then +1.
Yes, that is possible. I forgot my heart score is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, strong success. You're emboldened, and it is clear what you must do next. Take +2 momentum. Fuck momentum. I don't know why I'm so against momentum. It's very funny.
Think of momentum in this way. Momentum is you have so much forward movement that, like, even in the heat of battle or in the heat of confusion, you can see clearly what comes next, and that's when you can use momentum to replace it. Again, it's very tangible in a way that it's like it can be a free success, or it can save you from a miss and give you a weak hit instead.
Yes.
But yeah, so right now, find the data package.
Oh, I like data package.
Yeah. Prevent Beacon prevent bloodshed related to it.
To prevent bloodshed. Okay. And I think the thing we want to do is keep it short just because this is a one shot.
Yeah.
So how do we do this? Is this troublesome or dangerous?
I was gonna say it might be dangerous, but
Okay.
so like another thing too is, so I'm gonna click fulfill right now.
Mm-hmm.
In order to fulfill a vow, you can see here where I did that. Right now we have 0 progress in it, and we just need to beat the challenge dice. Fulfilling a vow is a separate move on its own, and you can call it into the quest at any time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you just roll plus the amount you have. Is this rolling a dice or is this?
Well, no, you're not rolling a dice for the vow progress. It's how many steps you've taken so far. So if this is a dangerous quest, it's like 2 boxes per completion, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get like 3 obstacles out of the way. That gets us about 6 boxes. We roll to see if we get a hit, and then depending on how we roll, we can either get a strong hit and get a big reward for it, and the vow is fulfilled. If we get a weak hit, there's something we are missing, but we can at least get it partially done. And on a miss, there's an unexpected complication. We either have to forsake it or recommit to it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Brindlewood Bay in some ways, which is interesting. So before that happens, let me just say this. I know exactly what to do because I got a strong hit. It is clear what I must do next. Take +2 momentum. I go to Sage and I say, do you have like a matchbook or some kind of something that says a good place to stay? Do you have like a card? Do you have anything like that?
They dig around in their pockets and say, yeah. What's a good name for this place?
Is there like a cool hotel name generator or something in this?
Not really. It mostly assumes you're gonna go to various settlements and derelict zones. And like
what's a space word?
That's a great question.
Pulsar.
Yeah.
Star.
Corvus.
Red dwarf. Morvis. Corvus. That's good. That means a raven.
Yep.
Is that true?
I think so. Yeah. I'm just looking at a space encounter sector name generator.
Okay. What about Stella Corvus?
Stella Corvus, done.
Easy. That's how you do it. That's the brain generator. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So I take that. Is it a matchbook? What is this? What do we have? Is it a pen?
I imagine
is it stationary?
What if it's just a coaster? What if she's just walking around with a coaster from this place?
Okay. I that's a very strange thing to keep, but I quickly take it. I put it underneath the vending machine so it's just visible. No, I take it and lean it against the bottom of the vending machine, so as if someone dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, okay, now we lay an ambush, and then let's get out of here, and hopefully lead the people who are following us to a location, to Stella Corvus.
Okay,
and we'll have the drop on them and try and figure out what happens next.
Gotcha. So this also sounds like you're trying to secure an advantage as well to me. It sounds like this one sounds specifically like you're making preparations with deception, stealth, or trickery.
Okay. I'm happy to do that. I was thinking, this is I know what to do next, and this is me actually doing it. So, let me quickly find secure an advantage. This is I'm being a little sneak. Yeah. Deception, stealth, or trickery. Yes. So this is plus shadow. So let's have a roll of that. Does this involve tech? No. Does this involve diplomacy? No.
No.
Curse this game. If I'm wielding a bladed weapon, no, I'm not going to do this. All right. Okay, so secure an advantage. I'm going to have a roll with deception, stealth, or trickery, and let's have a submit of that. No modifiers. It's a weak hit. I got a 5, and the challenge dive is 5 and a 4.
I just had a thought. You didn't make a connection with Sage, though, did you?
No.
Okay. I think I could still aid with this, and I could take a +1 to. No, because it's secure.
I could also spend advantage. I could spend momentum if I wanted to.
What's your momentum?
What happens on a weak hit?
A weak hit specifically is you either take +2 momentum or add +1 on your next move.
Okay.
So you can take another +2 momentum and have a bigger momentum.
So if I spend momentum, that would not change the result. Is that right?
No,
so
you don't
I have a
spend
+5.
Yeah. It would be the exact same because right now your action score is matching the challenge dice, and matches go to the challenge dice. But if you take a +2 to your momentum, it brings you to a +7. So if you're in a situation like this again, you can take a strong hit instead.
That's sounding better.
Yeah.
It's one of these things. Momentum seems like I hate it and I don't like to use it. But then I'm just like, but if it gets higher, if I get it up to a +7, that might be more useful.
Yeah.
I'll take your advice on this one. Should I take the +1 or take the momentum?
I think take the momentum because I'm looking at your page right now. You have a +5.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So this will give us some kind of advantage in the future.
Yes.
And we rush out to Stella Corvus, the club.
Yeah. What does Stella Corvus look like?
I was gonna ask you that.
That's why I beat you to
it. Quick question: before we head off there, does Vapor power down from the war form?
Oh yeah,
or is still running away? Okay. I think that Stella Corvus has a lot of neon. I think that it is the kind of place that has like UV lighting and stuff like that. And it has like things it has like pictures of probably like stars. Like, do you know when the kid thing, the early 90s kid thing was that you always had these like glow in the dark stars that you put on the walls and stuck up there or whatever. And it's just like a bunch of that to go in with the Stella Corvus theme. The music is like the music from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Like da da da. No, I'm actually singing St. Vincent, which is Mass Seduction, which is a good song. If you like the song, if you're looking for the kind of song that I'm thinking about, check out Mass Seduction by St. Vincent. And I think that this is the kind of place where everyone has like short sleeves and tattoos, and they kind of like have like a cool dance thing. And I walk in and I'm like an old grub lady. And I'm just like, I wasn't expecting this kind of location because I remember what we're doing here. And so we come in and are setting up an ambush, I guess.
Yeah. So to me, what this sounds like is a bit of progress. And with us securing an advantage, we got +2. The progress, what would you say our next obstacle is? Now is just to subdue our pursuant, our pursuer would be the next obstacle, would you say?
So all right. So my plan is that the people from Beacon are coming for us. And so I want to lay some kind of a trap, not so that I can kill them or anything like that, but just so I can disarm them. Like, this is them coming into our hotel room to try and kill us, and then we kick the door to one side and we already have a gun to their back. And we're like, all right, let's have a conversation. And we go from that. So that's what I am thinking. but I am open to other things. This place, this club inexplicably has rooms for rent.
For reasons. But that does sound like, okay, so it sounds like what we want to do is obtain information from Beacon about their objective.
Yes.
So that's going to be our progress. So if you go into the progress tracker, you'll add that in. And then this sounds a little dangerous to me. Do you agree?
I think it is.
All right. And so with that,
we don't know who we're up against. We don't know whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a little bit of detail.
All right. I will go over to your sheet to look at the detail you added at Stellar Corvus. Perfect.
At Club Stellar Corvus.
All right.
That's not how you spell Corvus.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, yes.
Group at Stellar Corvus. All right. And so we are able to essentially set up this trap. They are unsuspecting. It's a group of I'm going to say 2, because originally they were following one person. They were just following Sage.
Yeah.
And I imagine.
Now, quick question. So, how much? So, tell me about how these obstacles.
Yeah.
How do these work?
So basically, the obstacle track or the progress track is how we get more. We mark more ticks in our vow to figure out how to complete it. So
right.
When you swear an iron vow, a progress track represents the challenges you overcome on your way to achieve your goal. Which reminds me, also make a progress track to. I want to make sure I have this right. Yeah. Actually, no, don't do that. I'll leave that open for right now. But essentially, progress tracks kind of keep track of how you overcome each and every challenge. Each challenge has its own rank, so troublesome, you mark 3 boxes to make progress in. Dangerous, you mark 2. Formidable, you mark 1. Extreme has like little ticks that you do, and then epic is 1 tick at a time, and it's for like the very long-standing ones. Ranks help gauge the difficulty of a challenge. More importantly, they are a measure of its complexity as well. Higher ranked challenges will require more focus, more steps to complete, and more time, both in the imagined world and at the table. Troublesome is used for simple challenges. Dangerous is a typical challenge, which is what this is. Formidable is intimidating. Epic and extreme require a great effort and luck to overcome. You can also give different ranks to NPCs as well. But once you initiate a progress track, you make specific moves to advance toward that goal. These moves reward you with an opportunity to mark progress on the progress track for that challenge. For example, as you achieve victories on your path to fulfilling a vow, you reach a milestone and mark progress. When you make headway in your... So, for example, the move when you reach a milestone, and I'm going to pull that up on here. When you make headway in your quest by doing any of the following: overcoming a critical obstacle, gaining meaningful insight, completing a perilous expedition, acquiring a crucial item or resource, earning vital support, or defeating a notable foe, you may mark progress per the rank of the vow. Right now, the vow is ranked troublesome, and so we can mark, if we are able to overcome these guys, we can mark 1 per thing we've cleared, essentially.
Okay.
And then it goes into like how many boxes you mark for each rank, so on and so forth. And when we are done with a obstacle, if we're like, okay, we've gotten as much information as we can from these guys, we've been able to capture them, talk to them, pull information from them. Let's go ahead and mark conclude. And then you roll your challenge dice and you compare how much progress you've made to the challenge dice to tell you if you've made it. And then you go to not reach a milestone, but the other one. That would be the next step for this.
Right. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
So I have I mean, Also, is there like specific steps? Like we have to get a success in order to make progress on it. Like I can't succeed on gathering advantage because the success there is getting an advantage rather than actually do an action. Is that right?
Yeah. So like you can fail forward. It's just you add complications to it.
Yeah. Okay. But it's like the thing we want. We want to get as many successes as possible.
Yes. Also, I'm realizing we should probably move our vow to dangerous as well, just to keep it consistent. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. I thought it was. Did we not?
Maybe I didn't mark it. That was on me then.
I made it dangerous is because I didn't want it to take too long.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a nice and quick one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
I was gonna be like, oh, let's mark here or whatever, but I'm like, let's get this done. They're already here. I'm not gonna spend some supply to get like a hologram up. We're gonna be like hiding in like a hallway as they enter the room, and then we'll figure out what happens.
Yeah.
You said there were two people. Are we gonna keep it vague until we meet them, or do you have like an idea of who is here?
I'm gonna keep it vague until we get eyes on them. But
okay.
Essentially we've kind of set up, and there's the main room. We had Sage get one room, and that's the one that they're heading towards, while you and I have basically hidden either among the crowd in the hallways or in a separate room right across from that, right across from Sage, in order to do the kick in the door option. And we are waiting in anticipation. These folks, I imagine, are wearing like the suit equivalent of like very nice robes, but underneath you can like see the glint of a pistol, maybe of a stun baton, things along those lines. And I think the surprise here, here we go. Here we go. And they are about to, they're knocking on the door to Sage, and they're saying, "Hello, we would like to take a moment to talk to you. We're here on good authority. We need to ask you a few questions related to a disappearance." And they're just knocking on Sage's door. Would you like to enter the fray?
I was gonna look at Vapor and give Vapor a nod.
Yeah. All right.
To make you make a move.
Yeah. And Vapor would do so. So when you initiate combat or are forced into a fight, we're initiating combat. Envision your objective and give it a rank. If the combat includes discrete challenges or phases, set an objective with a rank for each. Right now, our base challenge here is to subdue them. And I'm going to mark that as...
Is this a new thing, or is this still obtained information about Beacon?
I think just like to see... Let's see how successful we are with the fight first. I think it would be the main thing.
Okay.
For the most part, I'm considering it troublesome. But if we just catch them immediately, we can just immediately... I imagine it's very much like the... what's a good spy movie that has like a fight in a hallway?
Most of them. Born Identity.
There you go.
James Bond. Every James Bond. Born Identity is better though.
Yeah, but it's basically just like they're going and they're about to, like, one of them pulls out the pistol, nods at the one with the stun baton, and they're about to break down the door, and then we catch them unaware. We're preparing to act. We prepare to act against an unaware foe. I'm going to roll plus shadow, which is actually my worst move. And the reason for that is the Vapor kind of comes underneath the door as they're getting ready from behind them. And one of them notices it, but we don't know if they've seen that. And if this does not go quickly, then this will just simply be a troublesome attack.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh.
That's what I'm on the wrong screen. That's bad.
Yeah. So I rolled a 5 on the action score, but my challenge dice are a 9 and a 10.
Welcome to the fray.
Welcome to the fray. On a miss, the fight begins with you in a bad spot. So being in a bad spot, me basically change it.
I have an idea, but if you please go forward. But I have an idea if you want to have a bad spot thing.
Yeah. So essentially what that means is, one, is going to stay troublesome, but essentially we get into a fight. We can't like grab them and drag them in. We have to seduce them physically in some way, either through disarming them or whatever.
Yeah.
Pursuers. So that's going to be a troublesome progress clock that we're doing. I'm in a bad position. We are both in a bad position to start. But
all three of us.
All three of us. So but I do have armor. I think so
would you have armor out already?
Yeah.
Or is this you being quiet and so you have to like do it as a move? Like this could be, I don't know, like I want you to have all your moves, but I'm also thinking like
I think Vapor was like getting ready for it, and that's where like the smoke was coming in underneath, and then the door cracked open, and instead they were facing Vapor's door, ready to attack. Vapor hasn't gotten the armor up yet. They're looking to, well, I mean, we have the path though, and technically you're like set and ready to go, but actually wait, face danger. I did not face danger. Okay. Okay. I think the next move. So my thought would be for the next move then would be I would clash, which is when you're in a bad spot, fight back against a foe at close quarters, roll plus iron. And essentially, like, they both go and start firing. One fire takes like a few steps back to fire with the gun. The other one charges underneath me with the stun baton and tries to knock me out, essentially, with you ready to go with your sword out, about to stop.
I'm not having my sword out yet.
Okay.
I'm staying. I mean, my hand's on my sword, but I'll wait for you to do your thing, and then I'll yeah.
Then in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and roll plus clash to see if I can get something different. And one thing I can do with my armor is I can just set that to a 4, but it does not matter for me. Well, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and preset my I'm going to activate my armored. When you face danger, react under fire, or clash against physical attacks or impact, you may put trust in your armor strength. If you do, preset your action die to 4 on a strong hit with a match. Take +2 momentum as you build confidence. So that does not matter. That's unfortunate.
Shit.
But
no, you would get better, right? Like, what's your bonus?
No, I would not get better. So when it says preset your action dice to 4, oh wait, actually maybe I would.
It's that plus your modifier.
Plus iron.
Right?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
So that'd be a 7.
It'd be a 7. I would get a strong
hit. You would get a hard success.
Yeah. Okay. So I get a +2 momentum.
Yeah.
As I build confidence and make it
with a match. On a strong hit with a match.
Ah.
You don't have a match. A match is when like 2 of the challenge dice are the same.
You're right. I did not get that. But I did get a strong hit. I can mark progress twice, and I overfoam both of them and am in control.
Yes.
So we are now back in a controlling position, but I mark progress twice on the troublesome clock. So we should have 6 boxes filled in. What would you like to do?
So I don't have to roll to enter the fray, right? I'm already in the fray.
Yes. In the same way that I didn't have to roll to swear an iron vow, you didn't have to roll to enter the fray, since we're both doing this together, in a sense.
Okay. Can I take decisive action?
Yeah.
Which is seize an objective in a fight?
Yeah. When you seize an objective in a fight, envision how you take decisive action. Then roll the challenge dice and compare it to your progress. If you are in control, check the results as normal.
Oh, this is finishing it.
Yeah, this will end the battle.
I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
Right.
So the one thing you can do is either you can gain ground. Yes.
Yeah.
Or you can strike as well.
I don't want to kill him.
Yeah.
Is a thing. I know that assault a foe at close quarters doesn't mean kill them, but I'm thinking something like that. So when you're in control and take action in a fight, this is what gain ground is.
Yeah.
To reinforce your position or move towards an objective, envision your approach and roll. If you're in pursuit, fleeing, or maneuvering, no. I think charging boldly into action, coming to the aids of others, negotiating, or commanding. I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm basically like running at them and pulling out my sword, which is made of a piece of a turbine, and putting it to their throat.
Okay.
Basically to be like, I'm in control. We're here to talk. I don't want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk. I want to like, I've lured you into my clever ambush, which hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And I am going to do that. I'll probably do this to the person with the gun because they seem like the biggest threat.
Yeah. You get like right behind them essentially. And the way this person looks is they're again like very formally dressed looking. I imagine this one they have their hair tied up in like a very tight bun, comb back, and have a earpiece right next to their earring, essentially, gun pointed out, and they have a like single visor, kind of like in Dragon Ball Z, and the stun baton has like a neck brace that's actually just like a reinforcement. Is wearing the suit, and
it's not like they're hurt.
Yeah, no, they're not hurt yet. I've just been
Yes.
able to counter them essentially. But yeah, go ahead and
so
roll.
this is gain ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm rolling plus heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I have a +1 because my blade is out.
Yes.
I believe. Submit. Wait, I don't. Let's subtract 1 from that.
But you still
that's only for clash or strike in close quarters.
Yes.
Which I'm not doing. So it's a 6, but there's still the other dice are a 4 and a 5. So I get a strong hit there.
Yeah. On a hit, you stay in control. On a strong hit, choose 2. So you can mark progress, take +2 momentum, or add +1 on your next move.
Not a progress move. So I would like to mark progress, please.
Okay.
As I keep them to that.
Yeah, so
can I add +1 to your next move, whatever you're doing next?
Yeah, we can count that as like aiding an ally.
Just because I think like this game is designed for one player, and there is optional rules for what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw it. Here we go.
All right.
I'll give it to you and give you a +1 momentum. Oh, +1 on your next move. As I basically take like, because my thing is like I wanna like eliminate one of the foes.
Yeah.
And get rid of the gun, so you only have to deal with the stun baton.
Yeah.
Neck brace person.
Yeah, so the person in the tight bun immediately basically you just came at them so quickly before they could react. The stun baton person essentially getting like swept to the side and pinned up against the wall. The person with the gun drops it, puts the hands up, and says, "Hey! I this was just supposed to be a questioning thing. I didn't realize we were fighting some veterans here. Okay." And they're essentially out as Vapor goes to make a decisive action, which
like end this.
Yeah. Let's see what.
And like, so even though they've said that, they can still defeat us.
Yes.
If you get a miss here.
Yeah, like
you hold on. Just a note, you don't get a +1 on a decisive action move.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you won't get my fun +1, but
I can always use it for another one when we start questioning these folks.
Okay. I just looked at how much progress we made on disarm and subduing the pursuers. I thought it was less. I think we're good.
Yep.
Never mind.
We are very good.
You're nearly done.
All right, so we got a strong hit on that. That's why I put it as troublesome. So we seize.
The progress was 9. Challenge dice was 6 and a 4. So nice and easy.
Yep. Since we were in control of the fight, on a strong hit, we prevail. Take +1 momentum. If any objectives remain, the fight continues. You are still in control. Right now, we're taking that +1 momentum, and we're moving on.
And we both do this?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Fulfill your battle, finishing. Okay, cool. All right. So we basically, the guy that Vapor had pinned up against the wall just slammed their head into it and are knocked out. And Vapor just like drops form and goes, "Oh dear." All right. Shall we?
I look around wildly and I'm just like, bring them inside the room.
Yep. Sage comes out and just says, are we good?
Yes, I suppose. Come inside the room. Help me with the legs.
Vapor picks up the one they just knocked out and just like heaves him over the shoulder and walks in, and then Vapor emits the armor and sheds it off essentially.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I put away my sword.
All right. So we now have these two guards, and if you want to, you can also check their pockets for like identification and such. Their hands are up in the air, stun baton put away, pistol put away. They don't really have much to be a threat with, especially after how quickly we took them down.
I think there is a communicator.
Yes.
I don't know if I can just declare that, but I think there is a communicator.
Yeah, I said the one with the gun had an earpiece on, so that could be it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a separate thing. Okay, cool. But basically they're saying, all right. I don't get paid enough for this. What do you want? Do you need money? Do you need, credits? Do you need, like, I don't know. Do you need a ship out of here? Are y'all criminals? What's going on?
I look at them and I say, Keeper Vita Hrothka says, you don't know who we are?
Look, we saw Matt Person, points at Sage, start walking away after looking very specifically at the people we are escorting. We were told to come find out what they know. We're here to just find something. That's about it.
What are you here to find?
Can you give me a compel roll?
I will. I'm not facing danger. It's kind of fun that we're in a situation where that doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
Someone who compel,
or you can actually gather information as well too. You're asking questions, which both these work, in my opinion. I think both these work out.
Yeah, that's true.
Compel kind of actually works less. It sounds like you're trying to make an argument and get them to agree to something instead. So
persuade someone to make them an offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do gather information then. And I have a +8 momentum, so if anything bad happens, I can just burn my 8.
Yes.
I don't think I get any bonus from this. No. No, that's bad.
But you did burn momentum.
I could burn momentum.
You can burn momentum, get strong hit.
So what do I get? On a measure, I mean, we already did this.
Yeah.
I've already unearthed your investigation unearths a dire threat or wills an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. On a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow, the action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn, take 2 momentum. I will do that. So I will burn it. So we'll go from +8 to a 2.
Yep.
If I just click burn, does that work?
I think so, yes.
I already did that. So I'm going to do it with my 8 and I will succeed. So on a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or the action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn. Take +2 momentum. I have an idea, which is that I want to speak to the person in charge, which is like the earpiece sparks to life, and as we are like talking to them. Did you have like a specific answer to whatever question I was asking?
Yeah.
I've already forgotten it.
It was just like, they were just about to say, look, we don't know. We were just told there's something important here. That's it. And that's when the earpiece sparks to life and says,
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I have a character for this.
Go for it.
I don't know if I want to speak to myself or whatever, but we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But like, I have a strong idea of what this could be.
Yeah.
Which is, this is, yeah.
I was going to say the character that the person with the earpiece gets referred to by is, they're referred to as Faye.
Faye?
Yeah, like the person who is being talked to on the earpiece, the person we took down that had the pistol.
Oh, right. Okay. This is Faye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to like tell that, to kind of guide what that other person says to them first.
Sure. Now, Faye, what's the progress? Are you in the room? What's happening?
Hi, boss. We are in the room. Yeah. We are currently being asked about what's going on. There's some complications to that follow-up you wanted me to Me and
Keeper Vita Horothka like takes the earpiece off and it just like puts like a finger to her lips and tells her to shush. Tells Faye to shush.
hands up, like drops one arm just to do the shush sign back.
They were tied up, so put your hands down.
Tries to, isn't able to.
I think the person at the other end says, "Oh, I presume we're speaking to the person in charge now." Is that you? Yeah, I don't know how to play this scene. Am I playing it against myself?
Is that you?
Maybe. Hold on. Can your character take the earpiece?
Yeah. This unit isn't really in charge, but it will be the speaking. Will speak on their behalf. May I ask who this is?
You may, but I may not answer entirely. Tell me, are both my people dead? Are both my people alive?
Goes to check the pulse of goes to check on the one that they knocked out. Looks over at Sage. Sage checks their pulse because they can actually feel the pulse through the fingers and gives a thumbs up and says, "This unit can confirm they are both alive."
That's wonderful. That puts you in a much more advantageous position. Now, I don't want to lose any good help more than anything else, but are you the people we're looking for?
This unit does not understand the question. Could you please reiterate what you mean by people we're looking for?
Well, let's not beat about the bush. I have been keeping an eye on whatever's been happening. My Faye and the other one came across a vending machine and a AI which has been reset, and we are vaguely aware that the AI had something of interest, and now it does not have it. Are you the person who stole the item in question?
This unit can confirm we are not the ones who stole the item in question. I'm looking, and Vapor starts looking over at Vita.
Vita's like shaking the head. Yeah. Like, we have it.
Oh.
Say that we have it.
Oh. Correction, this unit's been informed we actually do have the data package you've been looking for.
Well, excellent. Well, then let me say that you have me at somewhat of a disadvantage. You have two of my people, and you have something that I have much value in. Now, let me say this. Are you a person who has much desire for wealth?
Looks at Vita again.
I shrug. Yeah. Are you? What do you desire? Do you want power? Do you want things? Name your price, is what I'm saying.
This unit requires information.
Then information you shall have. You have my strongest enthusiasm. Now, are you familiar of the concept of the carrot and the stick?
This unit is currently doing a Google search. This unit can confirm, understands the concept of the carrot and the stick.
Yes, well, that was that I asked you for. The knowledge you are seeking is the carrot in question. Now, let me tell you what the stick is. I know you are. If you're still in that room at the club, Corvus or something, my people will be there shortly. We know what it is. We have updated information, and we will come and get you. And if we don't get you, we will tear this whole station apart until we get this. I am from Beacon, as you could probably tell from my two associates, and we will probably destroy you.
Mm.
So you're in a bit of a spot.
This unit wants to know what is so important that you're willing to commit to go to such lengths to pursue it.
You don't have any idea what you are in possession of?
this unit would like to learn. It's either you call off this unit believes that if you call off your people, or this unit will televise all the information across the station. And I'm trying to compel them through a threat.
Good. Because I was wondering about roles. I was just kind of like chatting away instead of seeing what this is.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah. Feel free.
All right.
This is some kind of compel. I think they're quiet for a moment as they listen in.
Yeah. And I'm threatening to unleash the information if they do not have their people back off.
Which is an empty threat.
Very empty threat. No way.
Oh, fuck. So you rolled a 6. The challenge dice was a 9 and a 10. Do you have any momentum? What is your...
I don't have enough momentum.
Right, you have 5.
Yeah.
What happens when you fail a compel?
So they refuse or make a demand which costs you greatly, and you must pay the price. Oh, wait, that'd be a 7. Never mind, that doesn't help at all.
No.
Yeah. I forgot to add that +1 earlier.
Fuck.
Yeah, I rolled the worst possible result.
That's fine. Okay.
Well, second worst possible.
I have an idea what this person would say, which is, they say, I don't think you understand. If you broadcasted anything, then I have no reason to protect you. We would come at you even stronger than before. And the fact you're making suggestions like that makes me very nervous. And when I am very nervous, I tend to favor the stick.
Vapor looks at Vita and basically just like makes a hand sign of just they're surrounding us.
Vita's eyes widen and looks at Sage, and then like I guess tries to find a way out of this room or something. So what is our thing we want to do for this?
Yeah.
To finish off this we're trying to gather information.
Yeah, so unfortunately I can't mark progress on this.
Because we've failed on this one.
Yeah. And I still need to pay the price. Which would be many things, which is make the most obvious negative outcome. They're surrounding us. That's a good one. That's actually, yeah, that's basically it. Never mind, we're good on that.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
But yeah, so building's surrounded, and we want to essentially figure out our next move. We unfortunately weren't able to make progress on this at all.
And I don't, like, I was thinking about it, like, is there a way we could change this? But it seemed like, of course they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they want to deal? We just threatened to release the whole information.
Yeah, not the best move.
Which was a good play. That could have worked great.
Yeah.
But, like...
It's wild that...
I think this is... I was
going to say, it's wild that was my highest roll as well, too, and didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Here, we can do a rewind.
Why?
I'm a fugitive, baby.
Oh, you're a fugitive! Fuck! Okay, explain what fugitive means.
You are hunted by a power or authority. When you make a move, you may rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong hit. If you do, mark a box above to represent hunters closing in on you. On the third mark, a notable foe or force has tracked you down. If you overcome them or escape, clear the boxes, mark 1 tick on your quest legacy track. But essentially...
It's very funny.
So my threat ends up working out, but they could shut us down. They know where we are. So what would a strong hit on this look like?
So this is compel. So it's they'll do what you want or agree to your position. So I think what this is like, in my mind, this is a pause. And then instead of saying like you're being hasty or whatever, I think this person on the other end says, now, let's not be too rash about this.
What is it?
We don't want any things like this broadcasted.
Mm-hmm. Or if there's like another person on the other end of the line that hears, you don't want to post this everywhere. The other person says, they cannot post this everywhere. We will lose so much. We cannot take that chance.
I'm well aware. Listen, we don't want to rush you in any particular way. Let us focus on the carrot. We will keep our people back. You just tell us what you need, and we will try and keep an eye on things. All right? Does that sound good? Anything you desire, anything you need, just don't upload it if you can.
This unit understands. Please hold.
Keeper Vitaroth goes like, whoa, what happened?
This unit threatened them to release the data package. And, like, has it on mute. You can see, like, a red light on the earpiece, but also has it covered up with the other hand and says, also, I told them we have the data package. This unit told them we have the data package.
I know. What do we do?
This unit would recommend we find out if, how they were going to obtain this information in the first place.
What do you mean?
Did someone reach out to them, about us?
Right. How did they find out this sale was happening?
Yes.
I think that's good. Okay.
Okay.
All
right. I will say,
can I, what? Yeah.
With that compel roll, I will say, oh, actually, I'm going to wait to reach a milestone for once we figure out whether, like, what we're able to get from them. Or, no, technically we reach a milestone because we've earned vital support. They are willing to work with us as long as we don't release the information we don't have. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the vow, and I'm going to mark progress.
That's good. I think yes, you pushing yourself into this thing. A quick question: with your fugitive move, what's the little like shot we get that is like, oh, you're hunted by a power or authority. Here they are.
Yeah.
Like what is that? Like what is the shot we see with this?
I think this is actually. I'm looking for. I think this is a ship coming to dock, and it's like it's a fairly small ship. It's meant for like maybe 2-3 people at most, and there's like a brig on it.
Okay.
And a boot steps off the ship, and holds out their hand, and an image of vapor pops up.
Yeah. And they're like, are they showing it to people?
No, they haven't shown it to anyone yet. They're just looking at it to basically show the camera who their target is.
Okay. That is cool. Can I help you or something? Because I'm just like, because we're having a conversation with myself.
Yeah. You could, yeah. So Vapor brings up that we should find out how they know that this information was taken. We need to figure out who their contact was.
I think that's a good move. I'm not sure how to aid you in this.
To aid me in this, what you can do is
secure an advantage, but I'm just like, what do I do?
Yeah. Well, you have expertise or focus in this, or you can also roll with resolve or command, and that the expertise, focus, or observation is maybe you bring up that they had someone who gave them that information and are trying to figure out from Sage, like, how did Rhea get this information on hand? Okay,
so I'll make some kind of roll. This is expertise, focus, observation. So wits. Yeah, okay. I should have been better at wits. I feel like.
I always find it fun to roll your worst stat to just kind of test it and see how much you can push for it. Yeah.
True, but the more I'm playing this character, I'm kind of like I've been watching a lot of Perry Mason, and so I'm like, I got Perry Mason on the brain. I'm like, what if I'm a lawyer? What if that's what I'm doing? Okay, so I'll secure an advantage and just quickly check my assets. Doesn't help. All right, so let us secure an advantage with wits. And my momentum is 2. Fuck.
What?
Fuck. Shit. Fuck.
You fail or your assumptions betray you.
It's not as bad.
Yeah.
So I got a 4 and my challenge dice was 7 and a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So in a weak hit, choose 1. Which just take +2 momentum or add +1 on your next move.
Yeah.
Which is just me like kind of like thinking, and I'm like, I guess this is a good question to ask. I think like that's a fun thing to prove, so I'll give you a +1, but I'm like, I don't really have anything strong. Oh wait, no, this is a miss. What am I saying? I pay the price. What does pay the price mean?
So you suffer the outcome of an action. Choose one. Make the most obvious outcome happen. Ask the Oracle for inspiration. Interpret the answer as a hardship or complication. Roll on the table below. If you have difficulty interpreting the result to fit the situation, and roll again. Some ones that stick out to me is we could be stressed. We could be it could. One thought I had was this person's earpiece also gets a ping along with the guy we were talking to, where there's actually someone who comes up and says, and like advertises essentially an information sale, just like I guess it'd be like a black market maybe, or like an illicit market sale, and says, want to know more about Beacon's newest hottest item? Go find out more and put your bid in now. And basically like throw.
That's good. That's useful information.
Well, like it throws them and makes them realize that we don't have it.
Wait. That is true. Is that something we could do? I guess it can. So wait, which one is that? Which one is that in the pay the price table?
I'm thinking it's either you encounter signs of a looming threat, or you create an opportunity for the enemy, or something of value is lost or destroyed, which could be that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me think about that. So that's like, how do we pick that up again? It's through the intercom, or is this like an advertisement, or?
Oh God, yeah. What if it is an advertisement?
Why would they advertise
I don't know.
this?
No, yeah, I guess that doesn't work in the fiction, because like how would we be able to catch on to that? Or is it like Because
that's the thing, like we want to find out who is selling this thing.
Yeah.
Like they could be contacted to like sell this thing. Okay, another opportunity. Like I like that threat. I want to keep it in our back pocket. I'm thinking like what is stress? Let's take a step back. How do I get stress?
Stress is basically we detract from your spirit. So spirit is
right. How do which suffer? This is endure stress. When you take mental strain, shock, or despair, suffer -1 spirit for minor stress, -2 for serious stress, or -3 for major stress. If your spirit is 0, lose momentum equal to the remaining stress. If your spirit is so I just lose it.
You just lose stress. What does that look like when you?
I have this idea, which is that Keeper Hrothgar is like, you should ask them who sent them, and then I'm like, oh, I know who sent them. It was Rhea. Rhea was trying to set us up. This whole thing is we're the bait, and so I'm just like, oh shit, what else has Rhea done? And like, I'm just making this up. This is just like my anxiety going off and just being like, oh no, everything is bad. This whole thing is a setup. And I'm just like stressing out, and I have like zero proof. Like this is just my brain just like firing cylinders or whatever, like we're the scapegoats, we're all this sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't offer good advice. I don't give you a +1 because I'm just like, shit, we're fucked. And just like I even like take a second look at Sage and just like, how much does Sage know? Was Sage sent to see us? Like what is going on? So I'm gonna take stress. -1 spirit for minor stress, -2 for serious stress, -3 for major stress. I'm gonna go -2. Let's just say, does that make sense?
You're putting more stress on yourself. We almost had an entire platoon surround us or something like that. I think Vapor says, Keeper, remain strong. And remember, you don't have any evidence to prove Rhea did that. Rhea was shut down when we arrived.
I can figure this out. Just give me a sec. And I'm like sitting on a court in a side of the room, and I'm just like fingers to my temples, just thinking.
Vapor like reaches into the fridge and pulls out like a little bottle of water, and there's like a ding of your card shall now be charged. Sage goes, shit, fuck, come on. As it gives you a bottle of water from the mini fridge.
Mark my supply down. Shit.
Sage's like, come on, y'all, it's already on 2 supply. But yeah.
But you still have the thing of you have a question to ask. You just don't have that +1, which is how do they know?
Yeah, I still have that +1 from earlier. I'm going to gather information, and it's basically just okay. Now we've obtained this, but we did not anticipate selling it to you. How did you find this out? And trying to extrapolate information from them. Ooh, I am rolling.
Okay, you got a 4, but remember, you can always use your fugitive move. You got a 4, and you have to beat a 4 and a 9. Yeah. You spend your momentum, you'll get a 6. So, what is the play?
Yeah, I'm interested in.
You have options.
I do have options. I am interested in the weak move because information provides new insight, but complicates your quest. Envision what you discover on a weak hit. On a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is clear. Envision what you must learn, then take +2 momentum. I think it becomes very clear because I'm marking fugitive again.
Okay.
I think having a strong hit on this will be great to kind of push the story forward. And
is this where we introduce the sale? Like, do we introduce the person who's selling the USB?
Yeah. Do you want to
like the Apogee Spy Master that we have in our various notes that is?
Yes, I think this would be good. I'm going to mark this as a strong hit. I'm going to take that +2 momentum. So now my momentum's at 8. And on top of that, we're able to get this information. How does this Apogee Spy Master appear according to our information?
So quick question. Is this Zoya Mainframe Car, the character you wrote?
It could be. Do you want it to be? Yeah. I just threw out like a whole bunch of names. Just going through the generator.
Which is... Well, we'll get into Zoya Mainframe Car, they, them. But we can just combine those two.
Yeah.
So I think the person on the other end of the call says, well, I imagine the same way you found out, which is that that Mainframe contacted us and told us that it was for sale. How you got your hands on it before the sale was to take place is another matter. I imagine that you're perhaps just a mercenary or someone like this, and I imagine that Mainframe is none too happy with you either. But I am willing to say that you're possibly going to get a better percentage out of it from us than you would be from Mainframe. Did you have to roll?
No, I didn't have to roll on that one. But not on the authority clock yet.
Wait, that was a strong hit.
Yeah, it was just a strong hit.
Yeah.
I'm going to Vapor mutes the call again and says, Mainframe. Do you recognize Mainframe, Keeper?
I cannot think. I think I'm like trying to focus. I'm like, Mainframe? Maybe Sage does? Yeah. Maybe Sage looks like, like makes a little, like almost like a Marge kind of sound or something like that. I don't know why she's suddenly Marge in my mind. But it's just like, yeah, Zoya Mainframe Car, they, I guess, worked with Rhea. There was disagreements.
Disagreements how? Just disagreements how? And she's like, well, Mainframe had this idea of just, we should be obtaining more information and then trying to pull people to our side. Had this grand idea. of being able to be a place to make Apogee into a place where you can sell and buy information, but more importantly, that people would start building their own home bases here, and then we would all strike out somewhere. They didn't really tell me what, but Mainframe and Rhea at one point got into it.
To jump in and it's so weird playing the same character with two people, but like there could be a thing where Sage says Zoya was willing to make deals in order to get what they needed, which perhaps Rhea wasn't.
Keeper, does that sound like a motive to you?
Well, we're not entirely sure yet, but potentially. We don't know how deep this goes.
That's true. And Vapor asks, where does Mainframe hide out in? Where does Mainframe go, typically?
Do you have an answer? I don't have an idea. I did the last place. I did this place. I did the neon cool hangout place.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm about to start thinking of.
I know a place. I'll take you there in a second.
Yeah. Mainframe typically works out of this grocery store den. It's just like through the alley. It's it's called Catch-All. It's quite a ways away though. We have to make our way there quickly. And
I think Vida goes to the window and like looks out and is like, can't see anybody, I guess. Like, I don't think that the beacon's people are out and looking around, obviously. But I'm like, we have to find a safe way out of here. But I look back to Vapor and just like, you're still on the call.
Yes.
We still have contact.
Yes. So let's just go ahead and say like we can do this in like a...
What's our progress look like?
Yeah. Our progress right now for gathering information, we're at a 4 out of 10. Same with our Val. I went ahead and marked a milestone for it. Because we know who probably did the murder and probably did the crime. I think what this is a attempt to face danger in order to find a way out with deception, stealth, or trickery. Or it could be with mobility, speed, and agility if we want to roll plus edge.
Is this still part of the same gather information, or is this a new situation?
I think this kind of concludes it.
So I'm like, do you want to get one last question out, and then we'll try and finish whatever the fuck this is? Or we can fail it, but we still have... Oh, wait, no. What happens if we fail?
What happens when we fail a progress move?
Where
is it? Where is it? There's supposed to be... There should be...
I'm also not finding it. I'm so confused.
Yeah. Maybe this wasn't really a obstacle to kind of track everything. Maybe...
Sure not.
Let's just...
Can we like hack this? Let's just... Because we made so much progress.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's just do this.
Okay.
We can consider it part of like getting information of just like... We've gathered it from our ally.
This is a combat.
Yeah, and we're trying to attempt something risky, which is to get out stealthily. Or get out quickly and away from these folks.
Yeah.
So, let me look at my assets real quick. I have armored, so when I face danger, it's only against physical attacks or impact, sadly, so never mind.
Yeah. I also have a sword. I don't think that's going to help me.
Do you still want to make the either an edge roll or a shadow roll?
For which one? For facing danger?
For facing danger, yeah, to either escape with deception, stealth, or trickery. Or it could be a wits roll, too, with expertise, focus, or observation. Maybe they have, like, a patrol pattern.
No.
Like a Metal Gear Solid.
I think I'm too distracted narratively.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm going to steer away from that, even though it's good for me. Deception, stealth, or trickery. Yeah, I think it's going to be probably edge. I'll probably default to edge, which is speed, mobility, and agility to try and get out of here. All right. No, hold on. Face danger and roll with speed, mobility, and this. which this is basically like, I think this is just me sort of suggesting, like, just say that you'll be back in a minute. You're just taking care of some things. And then we'll just run. We just, like, escape. All right. Submit. No modifier.
Okay, there's a weak hit.
So I rolled a 5. Challenge dice was 6 and a 3.
On a weak hit, you succeed, but not without a cost. Make a suffer move. Only 1. It will be like a -1. So we can lose momentum. We can endure harm, endure stress, withstand damage. So to me, what this sounds like is like we kind of get held up and like trying to get away too quickly. We get kind of a little bit lost in the streets and lose our way a bit.
Yeah. I'm happy to take a momentum.
I think we both take momentum on this.
I'm kind of curious what happens when it goes below 2.
Go ahead and go for it. I'm going to take 1 momentum away from myself as well, just because it's both of us involved. All right. But with that, though, we've made our way to the streets, and we are... I'm going to mark this, and then we're going to conclude that clock. 'Tis yet another weak hit.
Weak hit.
Which, for something like this...
Let's look at the combat. I think that's the closest
I
can think of, I guess.
On a weak hit...
which is the size of action. On a weak hit, you achieve your objective, but not without cost. Roll on the table below or choose one. If the fight continues, you're in a bad spot. It's worse than you thought. Victory short-lived. You face collateral damaged. Others pay the price. Others won't forget. It gets complicated. Any feelings with that one?
I'm feeling either others won't forget were marked for vengeance by the Beacon group. Because they were so sure we were there, but
they've seen our faces.
They know who we are now, though. They've realized we're not really taking the time to upload it, so they're going to try and stop us from that now. But we are still able to get away. We're just going to be actively pursued by them. So that is now a threat that we can pull on at any time if we want to complicate a scene.
Cool.
So with that, though, we're going to make our way to Catch-All and try to get into the place. Catch-All, I imagine, is kind of like a generic convenience store, but instead of like rows and rows of shelves, what they instead have is various screens and then holograms of everything you can pick up. But at the end, you have to go to the cash register, and there are these giant, like, have you ever seen Price is Right wheel? You know how like does like the whole spin thing? It's basically those, so that's how you select what you want from the store. And then it gets like, depending on the item, it's either 3D printed or rehydrated in front of you to give to you.
Okay.
And
you get to pick?
Yeah, you get to pick what you want.
All right.
But yeah, with that, we've made it to Catch-All. And Sage, I mentioned, it's like, okay, fuck, I don't remember how to do this. There's something we got to do. And it's Rhea was the only one that took care of it for me. So every time I walked here, it was already done for me. I could just walk in. What do I do? What should we do? What should we do?
Wait, what? What do you mean?
There's like a way you mess with the touch screens, and that will open up a door, and that's actually where mainframe sits. There's actually like a data source under, like a data server underneath this entire place. That's actually why it's so cold in the convenience store. There's like a bot behind there that says, "Please make a selection."
Right. Okay. Am I out of character? Is this you're doing an exploration to try and find your way in? Like that's a way of doing it.
I think yeah, we could do a exploration.
Was that what you were thinking, or was this just?
Yeah, we could do we can make this just a very short exploration one. So this is more troublesome right now, I would say, just so we can keep it short.
Yep. Keep it resolved.
Find a way to mainframe's data server. Boom. That's the challenge. There's also a very fun countdown clock, I believe. I don't know what this actually does. I haven't used it yet. But at the end of the day, how do we... we're currently surveying a mysterious site. And there are going to be different segments for each. So envision your approach. If you move at speed, roll plus edge, keep under the radar, roll plus shadow, stay vigilant, roll plus wits. On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint. I think we're moving at speed. I think we're trying to do this quickly because we're trying to catch up, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, each of us has a different approach, but I think moving at speed is a very good approach at this point because we are potentially being tailed.
So I'm going to do that. Vapor is going to try to look more into... Actually, wait. I want to look at your cards again. Because this is technically tech.
This is tech. I'm good at tech. I could probably jump forward. Yeah, I'm happy to do this at speed if we are required to.
You're making a move to configure, optimize, hack, or disrupt an electronic system. This first step is messing with an electronic system. So be down to give you a +1.
Right. So this is undertake an expedition. Which is kind of a loose way of doing things. When you trailblaze a route through perilous space, journey over hazardous terrain, or survey a mysterious site. Yeah. So roll with edge, and I get a +1. And I would like to submit that.
Miss with a match.
That seems bad. And I can't push myself or spend my momentum because I just took a -1 to momentum because I thought that was... I hate momentum. What is the match?
So, two things. One, you should roll to make a connection with Sage real quick. Just because Sage is constantly with us right now.
Sure. But even if I had that +1, then that wouldn't matter.
Well, when you make a connection with someone, add a +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. We could both aid in that sense. And I'm down to do it like after the fact.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and roll to aid you on this one. Your momentum's a +1. Oh, that's not my character sheet. Okay, you got a weak hit. There's a complicated...
I got a weak hit with the connection, which we can just sort of fold into the previous thing, I guess. So yeah, what happens with a miss with a match?
So give me 1 second. Observation, wit. See if I can get anything out of this. There you go. Okay. If you take a +1 here and then a +1 to that, that'll bring you to a 7. Which will be a strong hit.
Right.
And you'll have a strong hit with a match. So let me go back to talking about what matches are.
Wait, how would it go to a 7?
Because we're doing... So let me rewind the scene a little bit. We come in and Sage is struggling to remember the following steps, but they know how to get it started at least. Knows what it should look like by the end because they've always walked past it. So this is related to the connections roll. Gives you a +1. Also take +1 momentum. Because this is related to 1, their job. They're trying to get back that data package and figure out who killed Rhea. And 2, they're trying to help us get through this area. They're an informant. They are a witness of a kind. So that's going to give you a 6.
Right.
I rolled to secure an advantage with expertise, focus, or observation.
Oh, so we're going back and we're adding all these things to it. Okay.
I'm kind of doing the little cheeky thing of like, we're going to roll to aid after the fact.
We're going to win this.
Mostly because I don't want to run into another barrier here. But Vapor is just like looking everything over and starts making observations like, oh yeah, that should probably line up with this. This should line up with that. And it's like helping you figure out what the next steps are. Now, going back to rolling matches, matches basically represent an interesting or new opportunity or a twist of a sort. When you roll on a miss, the match should represent a heightened negative outcome, a complication, or a new peril. Things get worse in an unexpected way. We avoided that because, fuck you, I said so. The strong hit should...
we did everything we could.
The strong hit should represent a twist in the narrative, something interesting, or a new opportunity. We're trying to find our way to mainframe's data server. We're working on getting towards that. And I think the something new or interesting opportunity is there's another person who walks up and or no, fuck. What would be let me
Can I can suggest something, which is something that we've had in the as a possibility with our little secret list. Could this thing be that we encounter another VPR robot?
Yes.
Another person like you. Is this mainframe? I don't know if that'll like completely undo the necessity for this, but it could be that we see this person and we're like, oh, you have an in because you and them have a backstory that is useful to both of you. Like, you both have information for each other that would be valuable. And so that could be our advantage here. It could be that we just see a picture of mainframe, or it could be something else. Is that a thought? How we feel about that?
Let's twist it into it. Let's roll into it. Let's keep the momentum going forward. Let's say yes. I think
all right.
If we do make that into another Revenant unit, another VPR, I think it'd be appropriate for me to make a mark on my legacy vow of this unit will find others like them for solidarity and belonging. But yeah, I think there's like there's probably like an employee of the month on the wall, and it just cycles through various people who worked here at one point in time. And one of the older photos is a similar bug-eyed kind of robotic creature, but instead of like gears and very industrial, it's sleek. It's more iridescent in scale and looks like it has wings. And yeah, cool. Vapor just looks at it and goes, fascinating. And but Sage looks over and goes, yeah, that's Zoya. That's mainframe.
Yeah, and I think it says assistant manager or something.
Yeah, there we go. I like that. I like that. Zoya's like the assistant manager. But yeah, as we are continuing to work our way through, you undertook an expedition. We got a strong hit.
Yeah.
Now you reached a waypoint.
No, we got a strong hit.
You reach a waypoint, envision the location, mark progress per the rank of the expedition. So we have gotten to a waypoint, which means we essentially, what I imagine this looks like is we've opened kind of the door into the hall. We've kind of opened like the initial passageway, and what Sage says is like, okay, so we kind of brute force that a little bit, but if we keep going through, we'll be able to walk down to the maze, and I think it's like a right, left, right to get down.
Okay.
It's the place has to be somewhat shielded. It hosts a lot of information on the backside of it. And typically, if we were out in space, we would say this is a waypoint of sort, and we could offer to explore it, make a discovery, etc., etc.
But we aren't because time.
So
yes. So let's undertake a secondary expedition. So describe what this area is like. Like, is this I'm looking at the three options, which is move at speed, keep under the radar, or stay vigilant. And I'm like, is this a hallway full of traps? Is this like a high security area? Is this just a regular area?
I imagine this is like stay vigilant, because the reason Rhea was able to make it so easy for Sage to go through is Rhea essentially like disables all the traps and has like codes to get past them. We've only did the first part. We did not do the rest. So I imagine this area. So we go underneath a convenience store, spinning reels, and the entire area is like very much marketable. We've kind of gone towards the inside of what Apogee is. I imagine it's like a a whole bunch of pipes and tubes running through. There's like a walkway that's creaking as we go through, but along with it as well are these various like trip wires. There's a camera that's observing, every now and then it will catch a rat and just like look towards it, and a laser will fire out from the camera. There's like a collection of rats that from time to time will get like swept over. And I imagine that's what we're trying to avoid. So I will lead on this one with wits. And I'm going to take a +1 from Sage, just because I think they kind of know where some of the traps are. And I rolled a 4 for a weak hit.
But you can spend your momentum to get a strong hit, or you can do the fugitive thing to get a strong hit.
I think I will burn momentum on this one, but I will take a +1 for rolling with a friend, and I'm going to mark progress once again. We are at 6 out of 10. If we so choose, we can go ahead and say we have found our way to the mainframe now, or we can, or it could be more complicated than that.
I will leave that up to you, because I'm kind of like, I'm happy with however this goes. Like, I think it's kind of funny if it goes badly, even though I do want to mark progress. But like, what happens if we fail this?
If we fail this, that means there is something else going on that we don't really know. So we roll finish an expedition. When you expedition comes to the end, roll the challenge dice, compare it to your progress. On strong hit, you reach your destination or complete your survey. Mark a reward on your discoveries. Legacy track per expedition rank, troublesome being 1 tick. That basically means 1 XP. Or, I'm sorry. It would be just 1 tick on the legacy's track, so we would not get 1 XP yet. We'd be on our way to it. On a weak hit, as above, but you face unforeseen complication at the end of your expedition. Make the legacy reward 1 rank lower. I'm assuming it says round down. So if we're at 1 and it tells us to go to a 0, we take a 1 anyways, but we envision what we encounter.
Yeah.
So I'm down to finish an expedition.
Okay. You roll this.
Done.
And we'll see how we go.
It's a weak hit, which is actually kind of what I wanted.
Okay. Great.
So I'm going to go ahead and just mark 1 little dot on that. But we have concluded our journey to the mainframe. Go ahead.
Wonderful.
Go ahead and delete that. And what do we see when we come down into this the data server area? And what do we find?
All right. My first thought is that we come in and it is, have you seen Hellboy 2?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, my first thought was a very fancy auction house. Everyone has like iPads and they're all voting. And there's lots of mahogany, lots of curtains and stuff like that. But then I'm like, that's stupid. Why would that happen?
Yeah.
Why would this be in the middle of a like, we have to be respectful to the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a version of that, except the chairs don't match. We are in like, I'm imagining like we're in a refrigerator or something, like a walk-in fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very cold. People's air, like they are all like the breath is visible if they have breath, and there is like basically an auction place, but it's very makeshift. It's like not anything specific. I think there are a bunch of Apogee guards of some kind, just kind of like keeping an eye on things and just like watching out. In case any sort of trouble comes up, because they don't want anyone to come in and try and steal the USB. But I think there is also like a variety of people here, like to throw out all the other NPCs that we haven't used up till now. I think there is a mysterious priest from Reverie, which is the isolated monastery satellite where people are obsessed with subsistence. I think there is I don't want to introduce, there's an Insight Arms person in our list, but I'm not sure if I want to introduce that now or give you the opportunity to insight that whenever that is
Yeah,
Unless you want to throw this person in.
honestly, I think that might be my hunter, but we'll play that card when we need to.
So there are people here that we are not including, blah, 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 blah. And I also think there is a revolutionary type survivor from Gloam, which is the place that was blown up. The clan that was destroyed by Beacon. Gloam is now this, you know, salvage yard where people from Inside Arms go to find relics and things of value. And this person was one of the, like, leaders of Gloam, who watched their planet be destroyed and is there. I wrote down maybe an aristocrat / captain who saw everything they own taken from them is basically a more motivated and relentless version of Keeper Vita. So this is a person who, if they potentially get this USB thing, they'll be like, all right, my name is Princess Leia. I'm going to strike back against the Death Star using the Alderaan plans or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not Alderaan plans.
Death Star.
But like that kind of character. Yeah. So that's who this character is. And there are a bunch of others.
Sweet. I'm going to say, since we also just found where this is being traded at, go ahead and mark progress on your vow to, on your Iron Vow.
I will do so.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So what would our next move be with all these people about their apogee guards, and there is a entire exchange? I imagine Sage says, okay, so mainframe will sometimes like host grand events and auctions just to raise up more funds and resources, and the bids are strange. You don't really need to bid just credit. You don't need to bid supply. You can also bid territory promises, like certain promises. You can give a fleet to someone. We're
basically wooing mainframe. We're just like, here is this thing.
Yeah.
Here is what we can offer you for your cool thing.
Yeah.
This because as we remember, mainframe is trying to get stuff to go back to Earth.
Yes.
For whatever reason. Is mainframe here?
I don't think so. I think we need to gather information to find out where mainframe is.
Right. Can I suggest some mechanics for this?
Yes.
For this particular thing, which is, this is a combat.
Yeah.
But instead of fighting, we're bidding. And we are doing this. This is how we do an auction.
Yeah. Or like it's a social encounter to try to navigate through folks to find mainframe before the auction begins.
Yes. Like, this is caught in a trap or sizing up the situation. This is preparing to act against an unaware foe, except instead of like beating the shit out of people, we're just like, oh, let's bid, or let's like speak to them, or let's like bargain and stuff like this. Gaining ground is in pursuit, fleeting, or maneuvering. We're like maneuvering people around and doing this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, that's a way we can figure out a way to make progress in this system, which is weird. Like, the only way to really progress in this game is to either explore, go on an expedition, or do a combat outside of like special actions we can do.
Well, like, yeah, you can also make progress by like getting assets from people, having people make connections with you that are beneficial in some way. You can also acquire a resource or item, so like it could be part of that exploration move of just like, oh, we found something that would actually be really helpful in order to negotiate on the way here, or just like even knowing where what a path leads to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's my pitch for how we can run this, just because like,
but yeah,
it's also very funny to have like we have in control or in a bad spot. That's just like who's having the winning bid or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, how do we enter the social fray?
What can we offer? Like, what's our bid? Because I have my ship. I'm thinking about that.
I have a haft, and I also have that data pad heavily encrypted that holds information about Vapor.
Also, to raise it even higher, I have my Keeper badge. I can sacrifice my job. I can sacrifice my rank. And like, not to put words in your mouth, but you're valuable.
Yeah. I think
so. Like, I won't try and sell you, but I'm like, if you want to have like, how much do we want to get this thing?
Yeah,
is my thought.
My
I don't know. Like, we have smaller things and we have bigger things we can try and use as well.
Yeah. I say start.
This is me inventing a mechanic.
Yeah. I'd say we start with the smaller things and then the bigger thing. The more we roll, I'm going to put a progress track up specifically that has a countdown mechanic.
Yes.
It's meet with mainframe. It's still going to be troublesome because I'm going to leave it at that, but I'm going to make it challenging. So when, as it gets more and more intense, if we can't, there'll be basically 4 rounds of betting. If we can't clear and make that meeting work, if we can't make a decisive action by that point, I'm basically ticking clocks until we are out of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a great opening move. I really like this.
Yeah.
This is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to take a moment to say this is a really fun way of approaching a final combat of a game.
Yeah.
Like, let's win an auction. So I'm going to enter the fray, which is when you initiate combat or are forced into a fight, quote unquote.
Envision
your objective and give it a rank. Combat includes the street challenges or phases. Set an objective within rank for each. How could you handle what that means? How are you going with that? Do we need to discuss that? I want to try and get it so that we can. This will be the final thing.
It's meet with mainframe. It's troublesome.
Right, you got this.
Yeah,
you got this. I'm seeing your screen. Yeah. This works. Okay. So, I am going to be using. I'm going to be in the thick of it at close quarters, which means roll plus iron. I am going to, I'm not sure if I can do this, but I'm kind of like, I think it's kind of funny if I try. I'm going to use my sword. I'm going to try and say, I will sell this very ancient relic. And that's going to be my way of doing this. I don't think I can do that though. The annoying thing, because I can only use it for clash or something. But like, that's like an option. And you clash or strike in close quarters, add +1.
Yeah. I will say you can do that in this moment. But depending on how the rest of the rolls go, if you would basically lock yourself out of the ability if you do that. If you that succeeds, maybe, or no, if that.
How about this? I'll start low. I'll change it up, but I'll use that in a moment. I'll use that thing because I'm looking at it. It says when you clash or strike in close quarters, add +1. If I use my bladed weapon.
Yeah. It would make sense to use it when we're in a clash, because then you could be like,
yeah,
I give up my sword for this. And that could also just lock out the move as well in order to ensure.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start with my life savings or something. That's gonna be my low ball. And then as it goes up, I can sell my ship and stuff like that. Okay. So when you clash or strike, that's not relevant right now. I'm going to go to fighting moves, enter the fray. I'm going to roll plus iron.
Okay.
So let's see how that goes. And I have +1 momentum, which isn't good.
Oh, you got a strong hit.
Oh, good. I rolled a 7. I got a 7, and my challenge dice were 1 and 4. So this is exceptionally good. This is on a strong hit, take both. On a weak hit, choose 1. This is take +2 momentum, and you're in control. So I think I make what I believe is a low bid, and it turns out to be great.
Yeah.
This is like I bid higher for this USB than anyone else does, and so we are currently the winning bid.
Yeah. There's a little screen on the back that details the information that's being sold, and says this data package contains all this. First bid goes to Keeper, Vita, Prothka, life savings, and gives like a amount, which is actually
And I'm like, oh fuck, I just gave away my life saving. This is bad, but I'm winning. So that is good.
Yeah. I imagine there's like another bid that happens shortly after, and it's essentially just someone says,
like $4 over.
Yeah,
that.
or like equal amount plus a faster than light starship that has like the way our ships travel nowadays. Has like something close to that, propelled by
grav drives, or whatever we're calling it.
Trying to remember what our ship movement is. I guess it's still the Exodus one of just like the experimental FTL drives. It has like the first iteration of it. And so I immediately counter with I raise up and say, I will trade a data pad that has information about my creation. And that will be a strike with iron as well.
Okay.
I misclicked. There we go. Foe. Plus do. Oh, that's so unlucky.
Fuck. So you rolled a 7 and the challenge dice were a 10 and a 9.
Yeah.
I don't think I can bonus that to help enough.
The fight turns against you. You are in a bad spot and must pay the price.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that happens is mainframe. That bid goes up for like half a second and then says denied. Immediately afterward, it's not equal value, and the price I must pay is
health.
Yeah, I was actually going to say stress.
Is it stress?
I was going to say, I think...
Is it stress? Is this...
Like, that's heartbreaking. That's legitimately heartbreaking. And I'm going to say it's major stress.
Okay.
Just...
Like, no one cares about this except for you.
If this was in an anime, Vapor would be, like, Alphonse Elric and the giant armor just off in the corner with, like, 3 lines on the back, and it's just, like...
Who's this little kid?
Yeah, just very, very sad and distraught. But in the meantime, though, we do not make progress on that. What is our next move?
I would like to clash, which I'm going to strike with against a foe at close quarters. So I would like to take out my blade, and I say it belongs to one of the lost ships. This is a cool, fun secret, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that, like, this ship was thought to be lost. I think something like a space maelstrom took it, and so everyone on board the crew was lost. But I inexplicably have the turbine from it. And so this is me being like, aha, this blade is worth a damn thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to offer that. Man, I like this mechanic. I don't know how we came across this, but this is really working out.
This is fun.
Which I hope works. So I can use a +1 for this. Yeah. And it's iron and a 1. Strong hit, mark progress twice.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good.
That would be great.
All right. Fuck! Oh my god! So I rolled a 5, and the challenge dice was a 10 and a 10. That's a match, and it's also double 10s. Fuck! What does that mean?
So we need to add a new complication that puts us in an even worse position than before. I think the beacon folks show up here. I think that's the first thing that pops up. You face the consequences of an earlier choice. And then we also create an opportunity for an enemy. So I think it's like a combination, like 2 things happen at once. Everyone looks at the sword and you just hear like one person call out bullshit. And then an inside arms person looks over and sees me sulking in the corner and immediately starts like sends out a signal. And then folks from Beacon show up as well. And the person we spoke to over the call says, along with the folks we had tied up earlier who are now awake and ready to go, show up as well and say, all right. Well then, seems you have what we need. And
to add to that, I think the thing is I raise my hand to like sell my sword or whatever. Actually, can I change it? I think, okay, the person sitting next to me is the beacon person. They have been basically organizing this whole situation while sitting here. Like that whole conversation they had, this is while they were waiting for the bid to come across or whatever. So I think they said, as I say, I will sell you this sword, which is the relic of this lost ship. I would like to sell you the actual ship. And they have found this lost ship and is now like offering it, and they also are sitting right next to me. And I think like as this happens, the other two like come at either side of me or like trap me in or something. And so that this is them like increasing the debt hugely, and I'm also trapped. I think, do they escort me outside?
I think they tried to. I want to say they tried to, because I think Vapor gets in the way, like snaps out of it, and also gets in the way instead.
Wait, what are you taking a hit or something? What is this?
I think I'm going to clash as well, basically. My action die will be set to 4, and I'm going to try to prevent them from letting you do this, and to basically kind of distract them. Or
so what my thing is like what I'm open to doing is I just get up and leave with them, and I give you a nod.
Okay.
And I'm just like, get this.
Got it.
Make sure you do this. I will take care of these people.
Would
I... Can I do it a thing? Can I try and take out... I don't know if this is an opportunity that I can do. But I would like to take the beacon person with me.
How do you do that? If you can give me a good compel and get that to happen, and like a good case.
I'm thinking compel... If this is compel, like I was going to be like, this is face danger, but no. Oh, maybe?
Like what it sounds like to me is you want to compel them. You want them to come out with you. That is what you're trying to persuade them to do. But why would they? They know the item is for sale here, and they know that you are trying to get it. If they can remove the competition.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why the fuck would they leave? Because this is the thing that they want. No, I think what I'll do is I'll go with them. I'll give you a nod, and then I'll be outside trying to get out. Like I will take the beating or whatever. And I'll leave you to do this fight.
Gotcha. I think after you leave, Vapor will stand up and say, because I think this is probably how it works out. This unit offers their entire body for investigation and dissection. Trying to get that instead. This is a very desperate clash.
Okay. Right.
Modifier is set to 4. So it's a 7. It's still a weak hit.
We succeed, don't we?
Yeah.
Is that
we
good?
mark progress. That's a good thing. But we are dealt a counterblow or setback. You stay in a bad spot and must pay the price. So I imagine the price here is that... Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and take the strong hit here. I'm going to mark it a 3rd time, but that does mean I have been discovered. That insight armed person immediately calls in the hunter.
Right. This is the fugitive move to be clear.
On the 3rd mark, you a notable foe or force has tracked you down. If you overcome them or escape, clear the boxes and mark 1 tick. So I have been tracked down, essentially. But we are marking this twice for...
It's very funny. The moment you were sold, you sell yourself to someone else, the original owners come.
Yeah.
Quote unquote owners.
I imagine like the Insight Arms person says, I object to the sale, but the offer stays anyhow. And overwhelm your foe and are in control. So we are now in control of the moment. We have a 9 on the vow, on the progress move. But Vapor says, this unit does not agree with that statement. This unit has been put up for sale and is now rightfully in possession of the auction if the auctioneer agrees. And I think at that point, Mainframe floats down from like up on the catwalks above, wings spread out, and they're fluttering a bit bug-like in form, and like imagine a little bit.
Okay, butterfly or firefly? No, not firefly. What's the one with a dragonfly?
Yeah, let's do dragonfly. Dragonfly sounds fun. More like that. They flutter down. So, hey, no, this deal shall be affirmed and accepted. Congratulations, VPR 45210. Your deal has been approved, and the data package is now in your possession.
Okay, but what happens when the fugitive thing gets filled in? Because there has to be some kind of a consequence.
Yeah, no.
Right?
The Inside Arms guy, before they spoke up, had immediately called in that hunter. And I think this is your blade for hire who shows up.
Yes.
Do you have a name on look for them?
Wait. This is the Inside Arms person?
No, this is a...
Hold on. Let me...
This is the person from, like, earlier on, when I say there's, like, a ship that docked and a person shows up and they have an image of Vapor. They've been alerted where Vapor is, and it's now shown up, essentially.
Can I twist it? Just because, like... So the Inside Arms person, their backstory is they have seen their clan is subservient to Beacon, despite providing much of their tech from the vault, and wonders if they should change up the power structure. Maybe the USB will give them a chance to do so. And the Blade for Hire is the Blade for Hire who would absolutely do a thing like kill an AI and steal a USB in order to make money. So what I think this is they come in trying to argue that because they are the person who is in possession, like this is them like sort of seeing the situation, kind of sprawling and trying to figure this out. But like they're willing to let the sale go ahead, but it won't go to you. It will go to them because they are in possession of you. And so they are trying to like, they're coming into the situation unsure of what is going on, and they're trying to get away with a USB. That is what is happening here.
Okay.
That's my thought. Does that make sense?
It does, and I think that's enough to also make a decisive action.
Yes, this is the final roll. Because I'm not in this scene, which is fun.
Progress is at 9. That's the good news. If we roll 10, we're fucked.
Yes.
So I think Vapor says that is incorrect, and in fact, I would like to grant possession to my associate who has been escorted outside, the holder of the blade, Keeper Vita Rothka, before my before the transaction is completed. Ownership shall be willed to that person instead. And Mainframe acknowledges, kind of ignores the cries from the Insight Arms person, and says, while your argument holds here, you do not have proof of ownership of this unit. So your complaints will be noted and subsequently, well, let's see how the roll works. Subsequently ignored.
Yeah. That works. That holds up. You succeeded.
All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and mark the vow once more. Yeah. I would like to take the time to talk about what the hunters do, but also we're hitting the 3-hour mark on the recording.
We're nearly done. Let's just do this last thing.
So
and we'll solve it.
So I'm also gonna just make another mark for this, find others like them and for solidarity. I think Mainframe holds it up, and there's like a bunch of shouting, but Mainframe just says, "The auction has now closed. Please gather your belongings and step outside. Will the winner of the data package please follow me?" And starts to walk away, like the wings fold up into the body. Or no. They fold up into the body, and like the body starts like scaling over to have plates over them so they can be tucked away safely. And I think this is kind of where the final position goes, where we can fulfill our vow. But what happens in this room? I'm going to say, can you give me like a quick shot of what you do to the other two beacon folks?
I'm just gonna very quickly just do a avoid danger and see if I take harm. Whatever, face danger, sorry. Let me think what this is. I think I'm gonna roll plus shadow. Let me quickly check my stats. I want to roll badly. That seems fun to me. Which again, this isn't to give me any kind of advantage or anything like that. But this is to basically see if I get beaten up. So let's see how that goes. It's a miss. I'm very badly beaten up. So I'm going to take, how do I take harm? What happens there?
Yeah, so when you take harm, you're going to go to endure harm, and you are going to take the equivalent of that. Yeah, that's a hard miss.
I'm gonna give me -3. So I'm down to +2. Which again, it doesn't really matter because the game's almost over.
Yeah.
But I'm basically there, quite badly beaten up.
And there's like a whole other mechanic we haven't really messed with, which is like, if you go to the summary page, we can take wounded, shaken, unprepared, traumatized, harmed, doomed, tormented, indebted, stuff like that. Yeah. But we haven't really touched on this.
There's a lot of mechanics in this game that I really love, but just it's very hard to fit into one shot. So,
but
we cheat.
You come in battered, bruised, horribly, like.
Yeah, we won't go into too much detail, but like that kind of thing.
Like basically,
I lost a
basically
fight.
Shit kicked in. And Mainframe just looks back at you and says, "So, I see you both want the data package. Excellent. And I know I agreed to the terms, but for what will you use it for?"
I think to my vow, which is that I wish to ensure, I mean, I will find the data packet and use it to prevent bloodshed. Which I think I'm the only one who got beaten up. Is that right?
Well, we also kicked the shit out of the two beacon guys, technically.
True, that is true.
But, we didn't kill anyone.
But
we kind of Batmaned ourselves.
But I sort of like hold this.
I was gonna say we kind of Batman the situation. We didn't kill anyone, but we definitely did some kind of harm, a little bit of harm.
Yes, we absolutely did. So I am thinking, like, okay, my vow was I will find the data package and use it to prevent bloodshed. And I think that if I have this in my hand, and the beacon knows that I have this in my hand, they're going to cause a lot of trouble for me.
Yeah.
I can give it to certain people, but this would be basically starting a war. And whoever I work with and whoever I give things to, that could put them in danger. And the question is that danger? Is that Star Wars Attack the Death Star plan that I have, is that worth it? Or should I give it back? Should I give it back to Beacon?
Yeah.
And so I am unsure. How do I resolve this thing? Do I have to make a decision?
Go to vows and then click fulfill. Yeah. I already set it to the proper number of progress boxes, so you're good there.
Right.
But go ahead, click on fulfill.
But I'm not sure how I'm going to fulfill it yet.
Oh yeah, ignore this roll. But
yeah.
So what it means to fulfill a vow is I'm kind of counting it as just like we are getting the data package, essentially, and we will decide who to give it to at that point. I guess that's not fulfilling it. We've completed one half of it essentially.
Because I think like this is like if there's a weak hit, then I'm just like, oh, I do my best, but there is there is an unintended consequence.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we roll to see what we get and then kind of figure it out from there. If it's a weak hit, maybe we do give it to Beacon and they instead continue with their plans and it causes more bloodshed, or we give it a weak hit and then there's a faction that's able to pick it up for the keepers. The keepers try to do an intervention and the intervention backfires, something like that.
Like, yes. But before I make this decision, which this isn't not me making the decision yet, but this is me. I will look at Vapor and I'll be like, what do you think I should do?
I think Vapor looks at you and says, Beacon has shown they can't be trusted already, and others are willing to work with them to ensure they continue their actions. However, you know what you need to do in the end, and you've always known.
Because I could be, all right. I could do two terrible things, which is like, okay, I won't give it to Beacon, but I could just keep it in a safe place, and if anything goes bad, I could broadcast it. And that'll be my weapon against Beacon, which is that is not as fun. That is the Suicide Squad sequel energy. That's what happened at the end of that film. Sorry, spoilers for Suicide Squad. Good film. I like that film. Or I could give it to the revolutionaries. How much of a centrist do I want to be? I am a cop. I don't know. Because that would be preventing bloodshed. But I would just be doing what they do. How shitty am I? Okay, hold on. I witnessed what they did to
I was going to say, you are one of the witnesses, and your main drive is to ensure the Beacon clan can never use their weapons again.
Which, this would help both solutions, like trying to blow them up or whatever, trying to stop the weapons, and also using this as a deterrent, the data package as a deterrent, would do that.
It would do that in some capacity.
I think it's the most disappointing. I like it. I like it that it's disappointing. I often end these little inside the table one shot things or two shots or whatever with like slightly melancholy endings, and I kind of like that. So I think what it is I just keep it and I store it, and I might change my mind in the future. I might not, but I'm going to use it as a thing that if Beaky doesn't do what I say and doesn't respect me, then the information will be released and they will have to deal with the consequences. So that's what I'm going to do. Do I click fulfill now? What do I do?
Yes, you do. You click fulfill.
All right. Good. No, bad.
Weak hit.
No, interesting.
It's the most. It's probably. I like the weak hits in this for a variety of reasons. But on a weak hit,
mixed success always the best one.
On a weak hit, your vows fulfilled. Mark a reward on your quest legacy track per the vow to rank. 2 ticks for dangerous. As above, there's more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. If you swear an iron vow to set things right, take your full legacy reward. Otherwise, make the reward 1 rank lower. So there is definitely more to be done. If you are threatening to release it, I think this to me sounds like Keeper Vita has a target on their back now.
Yeah. Yes.
And so that would be like the new vow of just we're able to do it, but at the cost of we're being followed now. Or correction, you're being followed. Vapor sold themselves.
Yeah, which means you just like hang out with you hang out here. Like this is your new place, I guess. And you're sort of like it's up to mainframe to decide, which I don't think mainframe is just like, ah yes, you're my 7.
Yeah, no. Mainframe.
But it's like siblings.
But yeah. I think this kind of like this would basically be the setup for a trilogy, essentially. Yeah.
Kind of.
But overall, that does complete our vow. That does take care of it.
Yes.
In the end.
And we're done?
And we are done.
Is there anything else? Yes, there's probably like level up stuff, which we're going to ignore because one shot, and we've been going for a while.
But like the epilogue is essentially like Keeper Vita announces this to Beacon that like, I will be watching your every move. If at any point I feel like you are acting out of line and using your weapons, everyone will know what you are capable of doing.
Yeah.
That's more or less it.
Yeah. And thus ends the tale of Keeper Vita Hrothgar and Vapor, aka VPR 45210. And yeah, that was IRONSWORN Starforged. What did you think of it?
It is a very fun system. I can get why it's mostly a journaling game that people can like dive into.
Yeah.
And if I was to essentially make this into a guided group, I would probably be knocking out a lot of moves or just like trying to, I would basically have like kind of D&D'd it and made it into a module at some point, I think, which is interesting to say, but also is like how my brain,
wait, what?
You know how like D&D has like a
what do you mean D&D it?
Well, like, you know how like some, okay, let me change that the statement on that. You know how in some games they have like preset like settings and adventures and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That would essentially be this. I think my favorite mechanic, my favorite bit of it is the world building with the truth. I think that is
100%.
fascinating and amazing. I think once we get into the thick of it, it does kind of get lost in the reeds and tied up in too many rules. Like, you know, if you're doing this, you're exploring. If you're doing this, you're in combat. If you're doing this, you're gathering information. You're doing adventure stuff.
This is how you mark progress. This is how you don't mark progress. This is like going back to like, again, there's like 52 moves. I think we counted a lot. There are 52 moves. And finding out when to reach milestones, like there's too many things going on. And it makes me think of Forge the Dark, which basically solved this by having like 4 different kinds of moves, I guess, or like a very limited amount of moves, and then you flavor them with whatever stat you use. Exactly.
Yeah.
Having said that, I like it. Like it's one of those things that there's just a lot of it, and it's sort of like hard to keep into one thing. Like I love the combat moves. I think that's really fun. I think that exploration moves are cool. We didn't really go into them that much, but like that is a cool thing. That is a fun way of telling that kind of story.
I think it does like a nice little thing of just like, you know how in like Mass Effect, you can go explore different areas, different planets, and there are some planets you can land on and go explore. And so you go into it and like, oh, there's a structure here. Oh, something happened here. Oh, this one's full of cultists. Like, I think that's interesting.
And it's also like it's interesting because like to play this one shot, it's very different playing a one shot versus playing a campaign, because like we have pacing to keep in mind. Like we have things we have to go through. And a lot of the times, like the thing about random encounters in that way is it's intentionally there to space things out. Like this is like make things happen and like have an interesting thing which like adds flavor and stuff like that, but sort of like slows down the actual game in a lot of ways. But yeah, it is a system I like. It feels huge.
Yes.
Like that's the nature of the thing. There's so many things to keep in mind. Like I like momentum, even though I was making fun of it constantly. It is a fun bonus thing to throw into it, but it's just like it's so many little things to keep in mind, I find. Having said that, I really do like the system. I like rolling 2 d10s to try and avoid it, and then like rolling a d6 plus modifiers to try and like come across it. And I don't know, a more streamlined version of this system I would have a lot of fun with. And I have no idea how you would journal it.
It would be essentially like a solo recording, but also I can imagine like the amount of pauses in it and like writing like journal entries as if you are a character writing captain's logs or something like that.
I'd be fascinated to like see someone's journal of this, or like what that would be.
That would be cool. Especially
because it strongly relies a lot of the time on tables, which I despise. And I think we both despise. Is that fair to say?
Tables are a good like jumping off point for me, but yeah, also I find myself rolling multiple times of just like, yeah, sure. No, I hate this. Keep rolling.
No, yeah. Whereas I'm a person who always like goes through to try and find my favorite, and sort of space it out. But yeah, I do agree that my most favorite thing was coming up with this universe, and I like the story we told. I really had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, it's a big system. It's like one of the things with Powered by the Apocalypse games is it sometimes can have a lot of moves that can be overwhelming, and it's not as streamlined as other games can be. But yeah, I think my overall, how should we rate it out of 10? Is that no? We don't.
Nah, we don't do that. I don't like rating stuff out of 10 anyways, because like it's so subjective.
No, it's useless. I mean, if you've listened to it this far, you probably know you have your own feelings about it. And we have our own feelings about it and stuff. I will say,
like, StarForged and the Ironforge system overall works great as a journaling game, as a great starting point, and can help like build fascinating settings. Like I would love to go back to this world with these truths in mind and just jump at it with a different system for a table, you know?
Yeah.
But
I like coming out with characters. I love coming out with factions. Like we had basically like an unofficial session between all these sort of things where we like sort of like, all right, let's make the world and let's roll for all these things and pick our favorite location. Yeah. And that's where a lot of NPCs came from, and I had a lot of fun with that. I liked having I love throwing in NPCs and throwing in motivations and doing these kind of things. And yeah, I think we succeeded. We did it.
Yeah.
We told a story.
A story has been achieved.
We did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts, or shall I jump over to however we end these episodes?
Let's jump over how we end these episodes.
Fuck. How do we?
I got you.
There we are. Planning. Okay. Any shout outs?
Oh God. What can I shout out?
I would like to very quickly shout out Riley Daniels. It's been months and months since this happened. Probably it's been like
a couple weeks.
Riley Daniels, has released. Has been publishing. What am I trying to say? Riley Daniels is currently doing a beta test for As the Sun Forever Sets, which I am. I've run a zero shot, a session 0. And I like that game. It's very fun to play, and it's very similarly a very fun game to set up and do the session 0 for. To give people ideas that what I'm talking about. That is As the Sun Forever Sets is the War of the Worlds as a tabletop RPG. So Martians invade Victorian England. You react to that, and England becomes changed as you play through it. Open world. Blades in the Dark kind of thing, Forge the Dark. It's a great system, and it's currently being published, or in the process of being published, by Evil Hat. And so that's really exciting to see. And yeah, so congrats to Riley, and I'm extremely excited for that. I will make that my one thing. What else do you have?
I am doing so many commentary for so many channels now. I can't even keep track, but a cool game that is being printed by Monty Cook Games right now is the Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game.
Oh,
you can get your pre-order now over at Monty Cook Games. Monty Cook, of course, being the creators of Numenera, Invisible Sun, the Cypher system, I believe Old Gods of Appalachia is going to be on the Cypher system as well, just taking a quick peek at it. But here we go.
That's fascinating.
Here's the preview.
We can talk about, hold on.
Yeah, I'm going to do a deeper...
Next time, we can talk about this at length.
Folks can go pick this up now over on Monty Cook. I will be giving an in-depth read of the preview at the moment by the next episode, unless I can find the money to buy the actual game, which will be...
We will see. We won't hold you to it, or whatever sort of comes up. But yeah, be sure to...
very cool game, very cool podcast as well. Go listen to Old Gods of Appalachia, especially if you like alternative folk horror storytelling, especially one that respects like sex workers and people of color and has just like a really fucking nice tone behind it that's horrifying and great to listen to.
Good witches.
Yeah, good witches.
Good witches. And it's about unions.
There's a union episode. There's a union season, yes. The enemy is capitalism. It will always be capitalism and expansionism. Yeah. Very fun storytelling, very fun podcast. That's it for me. Okay.
This was Inside the Table, a tabletop RPG talk show, and thanks very much for listening. I was Marley. You can follow me at minor_Lenahan on Twitter, although who knows with that. Recently, Twitter's been shutting down and doing weird things, so be sure to check me out at linktree.ee/minor_Lenahan, and that'll have my various social network links here and there, and you can find it there. And my pronouns are he, him. And I was joined today by Cole.
Hi there, I'm Cole, aka Ice Cold Brew. You can, for the moment, follow me on Twitter at Ice Cold Brew, but you can also find me on other social media sites as Ice Cold Brew as well.
Do you have a link tree?
I do not have a link to. I've heard so as well, but I've avoided making them mostly because I'm lazy.
Yeah, they're really pretty. Like, I'm a person who loves making those little things.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with them. But
you know, guys, I'm juggling a lot. But yeah, that's it from me.
And you can find this podcast at Inside the Table or linkter.ee/Inside the Table. Be sure to review on Apple Podcasts. If you go to linkter.ee/Inside the Table, there's a handy little drop-down thing that allows you to listen to it on various podcast things and also review there. We've had a lot of fun reviews. I think we're at 5 out of 5 of the stars. If you have any questions or any sort of thoughts about tabletop games or like what you thought of this system, be sure to send it in to insidethetable@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this podcast, on top of recommending it to your gaming group or to anyone who is interested in tabletop games, who should they recommend it to, Cole?
You can recommend it to your local vending machine.
Yes, that would be cool. I would like that, and send a video to that, and we'll go viral on TikTok. That's how that works.
Go. Yeah.
And every day is 5-Star Friday here at Inside the Table. If there's a game you like, go out and give it a 5-star rating and recommend it. Do the what was the biggest dickus, the thing on Twitter with the what was the thing? Remember that? Am I making any sense? Okay, there was this is what happens when you lose the time war or whatever that book was called.
Oh yeah.
Someone recommended it and it became a bestseller.
Dickless, I think is what his name is.
Legolas something. Anyway, it's fun to recommend things. It's always fun to read what people like. And I like that. I think that Twitter, such as it is a place that I enjoy because people recommend things and allow me to check it out and open my eyes to new fun things. If there's games you like, be sure to share it. If there's media you like, be sure to share it. And I think in general, recommend things that you like. It's a fun way to talk about things and have a conversation. And yeah, without any further ado, thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fare thee well.
Farewell.
And may the stars be with you.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, Cole. Sorry.
I'm just glad to be done.
I didn't mean it for too long.
I'm like getting texts from Holly like, "Are you done yet?" I'm like, honey,
No, I'm sorry. Tell her sorry.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks. Why do we do it for this long?
Look, the way I see it is like if we really want to, we can break it up into parts. But
I'm gonna just make this a long episode.
Yeah.
Like my thought is I might just take this whole week or like the next 2 weeks to just edit it, because we have an hour of pre stuff, and then we have 3 hours of pretty solid material. We have like half an hour of just talking around, but yeah. We did it. This is great. We nailed the episode. This is the kind of thing that I was looking for. So hell yeah.
Let's do a clap before we go.
Bye. Oh yeah. Good deal.
I still have the OBS going. I actually have that tracking the time.is as well, so makes it easy.
Good.
Yeah. Right.
Let me know when to clap.
Let's do 55 and 60.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Done.
All right. Stopping recording.
All right. Fairly well. Have a good time.